Good.
So, well, welcome back to chapter 7, or chapter 8, episode 8 of In the Wake of the End Times. For the recap, quick little bit of management that I need to do. Last session, I believe it was Lucky. I was going through essentially a catalog of different creatures and beings that kind of fall underneath the Grove Mother's typing. And I all of them except one. So, a little bit of retcon. Also learned about something that's called the reclaimed of the Grove. Usually, these are people that have died in one of the Grove Mother's forests, or was killed by a Grove Mother's creature, and essentially their body was taken by whatever killed them. They are then essentially stripped of their flesh, and their skeletons are offered to the Grove Mother, where they are then bound wood and essentially turned into mindless guards of the Grove.
What?
Okay, does it say anything about their appearance, like how we can differentiate them from the other types?
Yes. They are quite easy to differentiate, as they look like humanoid wooden skeletons that have essentially been covered by a layering of wood.
So they're much smaller than the rest.
Yeah, so they're much smaller in comparison. However, because I remember correctly, you rolled very well. You do know one they usually travel in packs. If you see one, expect more to follow shortly.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a nasty habit of essentially getting larger. Essentially, the roots around their body encapsulate their entire body, essentially acting both as essentially an armor and essentially just a size increaser. They get wrapped around in thick pieces of vines and roots, increasing them to a large-sized creature and dealing more damage.
Okay, there's no record of this happening to anything except humanoids?
It's traditionally humanoids, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So, other than that, unless there's anything else that anyone wants to bring up, I'll just hop into a quick recap of what happened last week.
Just the stuff about what I would learn.
Oh
from
yeah, the
Sunken
Sunken
King.
King.
Also, from researching.
So a general history of the Sunken King, at least through the kind of more academic texts, he appeared after Calamity. A specific date is not given, but it was shortly after the Calamity. He offered safe harbor and protection for some certain survivors, who would then become what is referred to as the above-ground worshippers. These are the original descendants of the people of the North today, and essentially it has followed a hierarchical system where there is the father of the town, the guards, and then essentially the workers of the town. Always been that kind of distinction. It's this kind of feudalistic caste system. Every new father essentially must go through the same essentially original ritual that the first father had to go through. Essentially submerging themselves into a primordial pool where they counter the king, and if he sees it worthy to grant him leadership of the above worshippers, then he is chosen. If not, then he is essentially seen as a sacrifice to the Sunken King.
Ooh.
Other than that, you kind of learn more from the holy texts that the Sunken King is traditionally seen as either a bundle of eyes or a bundle of eyes and tentacles. He has no shape. It is often referred to that he can change his appearance to look whatever he chooses, but he chooses to essentially be this strange bundle of eyes. Think Hermaeus Morris from Skyrim.
What did I see when I jumped into the well? Did I see any representation of him, or did I just hear his voice?
You saw essentially eyes surrounding you, and one essentially larger eye up to you.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Other than that, there are several religious stories involving the Sunken King, which, like many religious texts, essentially go through. They tell a story, and at the end of the story, essentially you learn some kind of lesson, like not to be not to be greedy, to share with the community, do not murder, things like that. Actually, through stories, a message is told, similar to many other religious texts. Other than that, too much you would learn. There doesn't seem they have a kind of a hard basis for what the Sunken King is. They have no real information outside of speculation, and speculation is very wild.
Mm-hmm. And as far as worshipping him, from what I've seen, it's basically just offering the sacrifices to the sea?
So, the way that you traditionally worship the Sunken King is essentially to live next to essentially coastal or near large expanses of water, and periodically to offer things of value to Sunken King, whether it be financial, through monetary, through monies and artifacts and things like that, down to people and to flesh and other things like that. Other than that, you don't necessarily need to be next to the water so long as you hold the sort of principles of the Sunken King. These essentially include tradition, following authority, or at least just authority, or primarily the Sunken King's authority,
Mm-hmm.
and to be uncompromising with your faith. The King does not hold any restrictions in terms of who you can respect. It has made it clear that there is a sort of symbiotic relationship with the Grove Mother, but many of the texts, they make it clear that the Sunken King, if you choose to worship the Sunken King, he is the only god that you worship.
Mm.
Oh, isn't that a problem?
Yeah. Damn.
You can respect the Sunken King, and you can respect in certain aspects the Grove Mother and give quasi-religious beliefs to it, but essentially, Sunken King is your only god.
Got you. Okay.
But as if you intend to worship him as a traditional religious figure. There is also essentially text of him giving power for a more militaristic standpoint, i.e. warlocks.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
That's it for me.
So, if there's anything else?
Nope.
Yep. So, last session, a bit of management, so there's not too much to go over. You essentially received your boons previously, and then you essentially were beginning to yourselves ready to begin travel into the waste itself. You were gifted essentially a heavily modified cart with inbuilt living engines, with two large beasts of burden, who, from an interesting tamer of sorts by the name of Guff, told you to one, slap these humongous black horses of death, stare it down until eventually it turns away from you. Flynn, through sheer determination and a little bit of acid in the eyes, was able to essentially show dominance over these beasts and has become the main rider of these horses. Other than that, Adam was picking up the pearl and making preparations to begin making some magical items. If memory serves correctly, you were attempting to make some +1 weapons, I think short swords, and 2 cloak of protection.
That would be correct, yes.
Other than that, Elle and Lucky stayed in the archives where they had received their boons and began to research specific topics, including the Grove Mother, the Sunken King, nearby wildlife, mutants, natural phenomena, and topics that have escaped my memory as of yet.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everything.
Other than that, some merriment was had, and some interrogation when speaking to one of the goblin captives. After obtaining the information that you had wanted, i.e. the location of 2 goblin and orc camps, those being the Death Heads and the Bad Moons. The Death Heads being the main cluster of orc, goblins, trolls, and other such species that invaded or attempted to invade Dunor, and the Bad Moons being a separate colony of goblins and hobgoblins, seem to be unrelated. Other than that, your party was just getting supplies for the journey ahead. Starting. One other thing, you also bear witness to what seemed to be the sacrificial offerings of these prisoners, including the goblin who you interrogated, to the Sunken King. After that, starting. What would you like to do?
Flynn is still driving the cart, yes?
Not started driving the cart, it's still parked, but yes.
Oh, okay. So we have not set out?
No.
Not
As of yet.
We saw them punishing the dudes by carving all their crimes on their back. I think.
Yes.
Is that where we are? Have we left from that room yet?
No, I
Well,
believe
not
the
your
last
room,
thing we
it
did
was-
was watch them. It was the open plaza, yes?
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
it was down by the docks.
Yeah.
Got you.
Well, that was an interesting experience. But we are on a schedule, yes? We should probably head out.
Yes, that would be the plan.
Yes, let's go.
Alright, if we're heading out, I would like to go to the stables, and with my potato sack, I want to see if like the feces is good for fertilization of my 2 trees.
Smart.
So yes, remember you had essentially bought 2 large vases, and you had put was it a potato in?
No. It's the 2 slivers from Adam that we got.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
You have 1 sliver in the essentially the red earth and 1 in underground earth.
Mhm.
I mean, you'd recognize that fertilizer probably for both would work. I mean, fundamentals should be the same at least for growing plants.
Oh, I wanted to see if specifically the burdened beasts shit would be okay because they're kind of different. I don't know if it's like toxic or something.
Hey, in that case, roll me a nature check.
Okay. Ten plus 4, 22.
22. It seems like their shit one smells horrific, but other than that, it does seem to be full of all that good nutrients that plants seem to crave.
Okay. I'll pick up as much as I
Straight up
can from the stables.
The stable hands, they don't particularly question it. You're doing their job for them, so you can take as much as you want.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was Daisy and Buttons, right?
Yeah.
Daisy and
Okay.
Buttons.
Should we
Yeah, I'll
perhaps...
fill 1 potato sack if I can.
Yeah, easily enough done. They accrete a lot of shite.
Okay.
Should we perhaps drip some buttons of a button so that we can tell them from each other?
I mean, Daisy's eye is messed up, so it's
Oh.
kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
They look different because of that, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So that one's Daisy and that one's Buttons. Oh wait, no, that one's Daisy and that one's Buttons.
Yeah, because Daisy ate her brother for it, so.
Right, fair enough. Well, I guess once Lucky is back, we head out, yes? Unless any of you have anything else you wish to accomplish in this town.
No, I'm good.
Lucky comes back toting a gigantic sack of shit. Like you can't see it over the top of the sack.
Oh,
By the way-
no.
that-
Everyone can smell it before they see it.
That is rancid. Give me a second while I turn off my olfactory sensors.
Yeah, the best way to describe the smell. Imagine a rotting steak that's been left out in the sun, smeared in ranch dressing, that has then been shat on by a cat, mixed together, turned into a paste, then fed to a dog who then threw it up, then ate it again, then shat it out.
Why did you have to describe that
mean-
in so much detail?
A rough approximation of what it smells like.
Nice.
Like, hey everyone, I got us some fertilizer. Where should I put it? Just enclosed
Not,
space.
not in my bag of
What?
holding. Somewhere where we are not going to smell it.
What the fuck,
Hmm.
Lucky?
Can
You
you
have
not
cabinet,
leave?
but it'd still stink. Like,
Could I like tie it to the back of the? So at least like when we're moving, it will be downwind, you know, like.
you want to put essentially a large hormone emitting bag of shit on a cart in the wilderness.
Are predators attracted to shit?
Yes, very much so. They track their prey through defecation. However, these beasts of burden, they are predators, are they not? Would there be any? Would you know, Lucky, if they have any natural predators themselves?
I wouldn't know.
Say
I might ask Guff.
DM, sorry, you were saying something?
you would have no idea. You are not familiar, at least, with the natural cycle of predator and prey on the wastelands.
This is.
Adam, I have a proposition that you might not like.
I already don't like it. It's fine, and I'm gonna go empty out the bag of holding into the cart since we have some storage in there.
It's fine. He just gives up.
Adam takes all the items out of the bag of holding and puts them in various places in the cart since we now have some storage. And then he just throws the bag of holding to Lucky and be like, I want it cleaned when it is empty.
How do you clean a pocket dimension?
You turn it inside out and you clean the inside.
Oh,
Neat.
sure.
We have removing
Bag
valuable
holding
stuff
section.
That is likely. That bag is likely, besides the pearl, the most valuable thing we have with us, and we are about to fill it up with shit.
Oh, in that case, should I go get a second sack?
Okay, how about this? And I take back my bag of holding and hold it away from the pool. I'm like, why don't you go ahead and get 7 more sacks and just cover it up until we can't smell it anymore. Put sacks and sacks and sacks and sacks.
I'm not
There'll
sure
be
if
any
that
shortage of
work.
shit on our traveling. I'm pretty sure they'll keep shitting.
Well, then I will have to jump out every time they shit to pick it up. Just a little bit.
How
We're
about
gonna
this?
stop. We're gonna rest.
We're gonna
We
stop
can just
and
put
rest,
a
and
bag
that's
under
upon
their
when
butts,
they
I guess.
shit. Yeah, they don't shit while we're walking because then the bottom of the cart would be filled with shit.
They do.
But
Do they?
Do that.
They do though.
Oh, damn it.
don't,
I
don't you
expected
have,
them to be a
don't
bit
you
more
already
sentient.
have piles of shit?
You just go whenever.
What? How about
this? Is how
Lucky?
we're starting the session.
Lucky, why don't you just go
Debatable
grab
shit.
7 more sacks and cover it up? I'm sure it will provide some kind of barrier.
I'm not sure about that.
Just, you know what? Grab 7 sacks, bring them all here, and then leave the last sack for me to treat it, and then we will work with it that way.
Can I do that, Liam?
So you're going to go and try and grab 7 sacks, cover the sack with those sacks, and then for the 7th sack, you're going to either get a leather one or you're going to treat it somehow to keep in the stench. That what you're attempting to do.
I feel like there should be a better way to do this.
Yeah, by
Why
not
don't I
bringing
just get
shit.
another pot and like somehow try and seal the top?
If you, yeah, okay, to avoid more shit talk, literally, if you buy another large vase with a seal, essentially,
Yeah.
it will not stink. There will be an odor, it won't be hugely noticeable.
Okay, can I do that then? How-
It will cost 5 gold. This is
Sure.
a luxury item
That's all my gold.
specifically made.
Well, this
So
is
you
really
buy-
expensive for shit pot.
You're paying 5 gold for a shit pot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
I guess now you also now have a portable toilet.
Okay, why not? As long as y'all eat healthy. I don't want to poison my trees.
Wow.
So
Well, I'm never going to
add
use it.
shit pot in your inventory. Okay, this is not
Does
how
that
it's
deal with the
expected.
smell, DM?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Largely-
all I have.
Yeah, you Lucky fills this pot with shit, seals it with essentially a stopper, and after a few minutes, the smell mostly abates.
Oh god. I turn my olfactory senses back on. It is not perfect, but we will have to do.
What's that look like? What does Adam do?
It's a massive pot with
This?
a stopper on it.
No, I'm saying how do you activate your senses? Like, what does he do?
I'm assuming he just grabs a screwdriver and like messes with his head.
Oh, dang!
Let
Let me just get rid of that real
If
quick.
he's not capable, he's gonna give himself an impromptu lobotomy. So you now have shit contained. Question: how much food do you have for this journey? Just each person.
Infinite.
Oh,
Okay, not you.
Elle had told she had bought 1 week's worth for everybody
I don't know if I added it.
of rations. No, I
you're,
didn't.
like,
I didn't tell anybody to add it because I'm just assuming that Elle has it.
I have 15
mean-
on my own, so
We can distribute that. So everybody just
Yeah,
add
I will
7.
say this. You would know.
Mhm.
You're going to the crater. Probably gonna need a bit more food.
I
went
would
off
tell
the
everyone that
shopkeep's
I have the.
recommendation.
I would tell everyone that I have the Goodberry spell, so we don't really have to worry about it.
I mean, I don't eat
That's
normal
not
food either.
sustenance.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
worry,
Friends on a
you'll be
special diet.
sustained.
We only need to worry
Nothing.
about food for 3 people. Yes. So
Yeah.
I would
pulls out
say
the ration of Flynn and is like,
I would say
my Goodberry
Oh.
one is 10, like
I
10 rations that I can make every
yes,
day.
that is true. However, I believe that spell would not be very satisfying even if you were to eat it. So why don't we pack as
One
much?
thing with Goodberry to preserve some semblance of survival aspects, mistletoe is used.
Yeah.
Essentially used during the spell.
I've watched that video too. All right. Anyway, sorry.
It's a good
It's
video.
a good video. It's a good video. Yeah. So Goodberry consumes its material component when you cast it.
It doesn't say that in the
It's
thing.
a homebrew
No,
rule that a lot of
homebrew.
DMs use
Oh.
because otherwise it breaks the spell.
So, yeah, so it makes survival still a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, then
Otherwise,
I don't
That's
even
like
have
the whole
mistletoe, so I'm
point.
just not gonna take this then.
No. You
point
can
of taking
keep
it out.
Goodberry. We'll
You
find
have, like,
mistletoe
one
somewhere.
Sprig. Yeah, I would say you just going out on your adventure, you do have at the minimum 1 sprig, but you'll have to go and find more if you want to use that spell repeatedly.
Also, mistletoe exists in this post-apocalyptic landscape.
I don't know.
We don't know, but we have one right
Sorry.
now. We have one from
Yeah,
Sanctuary, I'd
then-
say.
Then they'd never
Okay.
take the spell if they're not sure that mistletoe exists fully.
Well, the thing is, Goodberry, by nature of it, you can prepare it. Like, you don't need to prepare it on a day that you don't have mistletoe, and then you can find mistletoe and prepare it the next day. Be right back.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
Again, just to an aspect of survival in this game.
okay. What did you say? How much more do we need?
You'd say at least. So you're in Denor. On the route that you're going around, so it's about 40 miles. 150 miles from where you are now, if you're going to go around the mountain essentially.
150 miles.
150.
How much do we estimate we can travel per day?
Roughly speaking, about 20 miles a day.
2 miles per- Wait, that's kind of... Isn't it? 7? That's a week travel? Do we already have enough for that?
I thought so, because Elle just asked the shopkeep like
Yeah,
how
we
many
asked like how
they
much.
think that we need, and they said a week should be good, so that's why she just got a week's worth. We can just get more if we need. It's not a big deal, but
Also, some of y'all said you're good at hunting, so we can also.
I mean that's what Adam said, and we both were like, no.
Sorry, what did I miss?
No, I don't know about the rest of everybody.
You'll need about 12 days of rations.
Oh, okay. Well then,
I have 12 days.
Well, why don't we play it a bit safe? How about let's get 3 weeks worth of rations just in case we find ourselves in some sort of trouble. So 3 weeks worth of rations for the 3 of you. Flynn and I have our own means of getting by. So just in total we are going to need 63 rations.
63?
Yes, 21 multiplied by 3 for the 3 of you.
Apparently I have
That's a lot.
12.
I have 15.
You have 15. How much do you have, El?
Let me think. How much? 1, 2,
12 plus
3,
15 plus-
4, 5. So she would have bought 35.
Okay,
initially.
35 plus 15, that is 46. And how much does...
we already
elec-
have 62 combined.
Okay, so just buy one more.
I also
35 is how much
have-
you bought, but how much do you have before that?
I still have 10 on me as well. So
Okay,
that's
then we have-
45.
We have 72.
We have more than enough with
Sweet.
a bit of overhead.
Alright.
Here, let's put it this way. Since you already have the majority of the rations, why don't you keep track of all the rations that we are using and let us know if we ever run low?
You
I
can
have
just
no
store them all
problem with
somewhere in
that.
the...
Yeah, so
The cart
I'm
has
assuming
enough
we
room where you can keep- yeah.
yeah, I'm assuming that we would
Barrels.
store them all in the cart, and El would let us know if ever we are low on rations.
Sure, why not?
Sounds good.
Okay. That aspect of management out of the way. They're free to begin traveling.
Does anyone come to see us off, or are we just going?
Yeah, El's just gonna say, wonder what Brutus is up to. As we go to leave.
And as you're about to leave, there is a small, essentially, leaving party that come up to your car. It seems to mainly consist of the father, Brutus, fucking Sister Minera, Tender, and a couple of individuals from the town as well. They kind of just wave you goodbye. The father comes up to each of you and says, "Well, thank you so much for what you have done for our town. Not be forgotten. And if you ever find yourselves in the woods again, feel free to come in. We'll treat you well as we can." Brutus kind of comes up to you. Everyone gives each of you, yeah. To you, Flynn. Hesitant thanks. Thanks.
That's fair.
Goes around with everyone else. Minera just stays on the side. She's just here for the sake of being here. And then.
By the way, did we get that messenger bird? Pigeon?
Yes, you've already received the messenger part of the file.
Okay.
Point.
Okay.
And that's what you've your goodbyes have been said, and you are now free in traveling.
Finally,
Wait.
I'm terrified.
Right.
I'm never going to miss that town.
You say this now, Alexis. You say this now.
I really like the town. El says, watching it get further and further away.
Assumingly you're going to begin making your way toward the Death Head camp.
Yeah, so Lucky's just gonna ask so Adam, what's the plan for when we get to this orc camp?
In truth, I'm still quite figuring it out. However, I believe that perhaps not heading directly to the Death Heads camp because we are quite outnumbered, but we would like to get some visual confirmation and also to get a gauge of exactly what kind of forces are on the shores of Sanctuary and of course the North. So I'm thinking we head slightly east and we try to go between the locations of Sanctuary and the Death Heads camp and see if we can get a good gauge of the land surrounding the mountain. We try to see exactly how many forces there are, see if there are any auxiliary watch camps. If we find a good opportunity to perhaps sabotage their operation to make it safer for our people and for the people of the North, then maybe we might take that opportunity. But right now, really, what we need is information. So,
And I do think it's very important that we pass on this information to the rest of the people at Sanctuary so that they know what's going on. And I guess, first of all, that we're all still alive.
that would
And,
be great. But however, we don't have a way of
Uh-huh.
doing that.
Yes, we have a key that only opens door once, so
If we open the door once, that is it. If that door closes again, it never opens.
Oh shit. How would we send a message to them then?
It would take a while. I have my theories, but I believe that should we continue on our journey and gain some more power, I should be able to fabricate an item that will allow us to communicate with Sanctuary without ever opening the doors. I have the beginnings of this item's ideas in my head, however, I do not yet have the power or the ability to construct it.
Besides, Sanctuary has remained undetected for so long. I feel that if we try and go back, we might be the ones to bring attention to that place. It might be
Calamity,
safer if we
even.
just stay away from it for now.
It makes sense. I just worry about everyone's morale back home. They probably think we're all dead and gone. My mom's probably been crying for every single day now.
Well,
I think they
hasn't
might have a
been
bit
that
more
long.
faith in us. Yeah, it hasn't been that long, and I think they might have a bit more faith in us. When we left, there was talks of how many months this might take, or perhaps even years. I think they will be holding on for quite a while.
Alright. I sure hope so.
well, hopefully Adam can work on this device and you might be able to contact your family. Let them know you're safe.
It might take a while, but I will see what I can do.
Anyway, Adam, let me know when we're nearing the camp. I'll have a way to make us a bit harder to detect.
I will. In the meantime, Flynn, perhaps head us in a southeastern direction.
Will do.
As though we're heading to Sanctuary, but not directly. We want to head along the side of the mountain. Do you remember where we met that man with the warg?
I do. I like that tower thing.
Yeah, sort of in that direction, but a bit more west, so that we can get some better eyes on the death hits.
Here?
A bit more west. Yeah, somewhere like that.
So you would know, kind of judging by how the horses, the beasts of burden are traveling, you can, at least on a reserved trot, essentially, about 20 miles a day. If you kind of force them to go a bit faster, 25, and if you really push them, you can maybe even get 30 miles a day. You really push them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want them to eat me.
Yeah, so you will essentially make it to your destination in, roughly speaking, a full day of travel and then about a half day.
Right. That should be fine, I think.
I'm just gonna say that I fertilize and water the trees every day. Can I just by default say that?
I mean, you don't need to roll an nature check for just doing basic maintenance on them.
Okay.
This is the Adam trees, right?
Yeah.
The Adam trees.
If you would, keep me updated on how that goes, especially if they, by some miracle, happen to bloom. I would be most interested.
You could see them. They're all in this tiny cart.
That's fair.
Man,
That's
lucky
fair.
you're just having babies with everybody, I guess.
This is Adam's baby. I'm only raising them.
That is odd. Also, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. It's not every day I get to say that I experienced something for the first time, but here we go.
There were also
No.
Well, regardless, you said it would take us a day and a half, yes, Flynn?
Should be.
Well, I think that should work in our favor. Under cover of night, it would be harder for us to be detected. That would be a good time for us to try and perform some reconnaissance. Alexis, are you confident moving under cover of night?
Yeah.
And I assume you are too, Flynn?
Yeah, I have no problems.
Okay. Well, if that is the case, then I'm going to head back to my table and I'm going to continue working on this cloak. Let me know if anything happens.
Will do.
So, Adam, when it comes to creating your magical artifacts, each day, I just want you to roll me a Arcana check, and then essentially whatever tools you're using to craft these.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to Adam's
So remember, you only
page.
do one item a day. So what are you doing today?
All right. Today I'm gonna be using the Tinkerer's tools, and I'm gonna work on the cloak. So for the first 3 days, I'm gonna work on the cloak because I want the first cloak to be out as soon as possible, and then I'll do the short sword and then the last cloak. So over the 9 days, it's gonna be cloak, short sword, cloak.
Roll me Arcana and a Tinker's tool check, please.
All right. Arcana will be dirty 20. No, that's a 19.
Okay.
Okay. And Tinkerer's tool check. Tinkerer is Tinkerer intelligence or dexterity? Oh, it doesn't matter. They're both +4. That would be 24.
4? Yeah, so kind of just working with your tools, you kind of embroider into this cloak the kind of diamond, oh, no, sorry, the pearl dust that is used for the enchanting, and you get that quite well done. The enchanting part takes a bit more time, and probably just for the fact that you're not in essentially a fully stable working environment, you don't get as much done as you would like, but it's definitely good progress you're doing.
Okay. Do I get the feeling that another couple days of work and this cloak will be done?
A couple days with this cloak, then yeah, you think it'll be done
Okay,
maybe 2
fair
or 3
enough.
more days.
Alright, and then I'm gonna continue mapping out the rest of the environment since we're hitting somewhere we haven't hit it yet.
So eventually, at the first day of the travel, night will essentially begin to encroach on you, and you begin to set up a camp. I assume it's going to be the usual suspects for watches.
Yes, probably. I mean, we don't sleep.
The real question is, does the party either sleep inside the cart, or do some people sleep outside of it?
I feel like inside your vision is a little obstructed, so it might be better to
Completely.
keep watch
That's
outside.
No, yeah, Adam would agree. Like, if you're sleeping, it'd be probably better to sleep in the cart, but those keeping watch, perhaps one at the front and one at the back, outside the cart.
If someone still needs to meditate for 4 hours, he can't be watching the whole time.
Well, I can sit on top of the cart if that makes you feel better, Lucky.
I mean, I can take up first watch while Flint's resting, and then we switch for the rest of the night.
Fair enough. And then I'll get on top of the cart anyway. Well, since I'm gonna be awake the whole time anyway, I'll just sit up here and let you know if I see anything.
Well, when you're in essentially Sentry's Rest, I'm going to say that your passive perception is your perception, because you're not actively looking, you're just
Yeah, of course.
specific situation, specific rest, but still seeing.
Yeah,
What is your
100%.
passive perception?
It's decent. Let me just see. 13. It's not great, not bad.
Okay. For the first half of the watch, Lucky, would you give me a perception check, please?
Okay. Nat 20!
20.
That's a 29.
Okay. 29. Wow. Damn. Wow. Yes. So maybe 2 or 3 hours, kind of in the watch. So near the end, the war period, you do kind of see out in the darkness a larger figure, or a figure, but some kind of creature. You don't get a full description of it, even with the incredible roll you got, because it is still in darkness. It definitely seems large, and you can hear ever so faintly sort of clicking sound.
Is Adam awake at this point?
I mean, Adam's technically
Adam does
awake.
not hear or see anything.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
call out
I
to him.
climb onto the. I don't call out to him. I climb onto the roof of the cart,
Mhm.
tap him on the shoulder, and point to the direction of the thing.
What? What is? Okay,
There's a thing.
I would like to actively try and look for it.
Wisdom check.
Okay. 17 plus 3, dirty 20.
Don't see it.
I don't see it.
Here you do hear the.
I hear it, however I do not see it. Do you wish for me to
It's right
illuminate it?
there. It's huge. No, I don't
Huh?
know if it's seen us.
Okay,
I
where?
don't know if it's friendly.
It's hard for me to see which direction is it heading in.
It's that direction. I can tell you.
Is it
With luck
hitting?
assistance and taking just a few minutes to kind of orient yourself to where it is, you do see kind of the faint silhouette of a larger creature that stands upright, but the body proportions does not suggest it's any kind of humanoid creature.
I'm
Roughly
going
speaking,
to.
it's maybe 150 feet away from you.
Okay, I'm going to try and sketch it. Which direction is it moving
Huge.
in?
And it's not
You
human.
do not have the visual to try and sketch anything outside of just a very rough idea. It stands upright.
It
quite
stands
bulky.
upright. It's bulky. You say it's a large creature?
Creature
Okay. Is it heading towards us? Is it getting bigger?
seem to be heading towards you. It just seems to be kind of watching.
Watching.
By your approximation, it seems to be watching.
It appears to be heading towards us, but slowly at that. I want you to go stay at the front of the cart and watch it, and I'm going to watch the beast of burden and see if they respond to it as well. If it gets close and appears to be a threat, we are waking up the rest. How's that sound?
I mean, are the beasts of burden sleeping at this point?
Sleeping, yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm still gonna watch them just in case, like, cause animals tend to have like an instinctual reaction. Also, Adam thinks.
Okay.
If it appears to be hostile, we are going to wake the rest. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Okay, keep your eyes on it because you can see it better than I do. I'm having a bit of an issue.
Oh, right.
All right, yeah, we're just gonna keep observing it.
Yep.
Keep observing it, and eventually Flynn will come out of his trance. And once now there's about 3 people up and awake, you begin to hear the fainter and fainter until eventually the sound is completely gone and the larger silhouette is
Does Flynn see it?
Guys,
I think like
hold on, guys.
kind of issues.
Guys, pause for a second.
Sorry?
Pause for a second. Our game voice chat is dying.
Oh god.
very different from them.
Everyone sounds like a robot.
All
I
right,
don't know what happened. I
all right.
couldn't hear shit.
Everybody, just do me a favor. Disconnect and reconnect.
Okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, that's a lot better. All right, let's rewind a bit. We were the thing was
Mhm.
walking away, and Lucky asked if Flynn saw it or heard it.
Yeah, so essentially, Flynn, as you were beginning to stir and to go up to take your position for watch, the creature would have begun to move away. So roll a perception check at disadvantage.
Yeah, you see Lucky like cowering in the corner at the front of the cart.
The
just
first
like-
one is a 7, so I don't think I need to roll again.
So you don't even hear the sound. You don't even see the silhouette of this large figure as it essentially it's out of even the very barest line of sight.
Yeah, Lucky was like, Flynn, do any one of your guys like are they like
What do you mean,
huge
my
and
guys?
you know your mates? Your tree mates?
What?
Do they do like clicking sounds? Like
I don't think so. Do
any
they?
of them like huge ones?
I mean, there's big ones. I don't know if they're
Non-humanoid
like,
ones?
DM?
I mean, you have not encountered too many Fae. You've only really encountered, at this point, maybe 3. You've met Guff in his true form. You saw essentially what were pixies, and then Ordalith, who you don't even know what kind of Fae he is.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is my guy, as you put it, but I don't
Yeah,
think
just-
it is.
It was
Did-
watching us and feel like that's your guy's thing.
Did you say Guff in his true form?
Guff
Yeah,
in his
don't
true
worry
form.
about it.
Don't worry about it.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm just like, I guess we missed something.
I guess we missed
silently.
something.
Yeah. You're just, wait.
Someone was watching this event again.
Igloo, you're a bit soft, buddy.
It sounds like your old mic again.
Yeah, it sounds like it's talking from very far away. Also, DM, at this point, while they're having this conversation, I'm going back into Sentry's rest. Gonna finish it up.
What's with all these creatures stalking us at night?
Right, it's so creepy.
One
Yeah,
thing you will
We
notice
don't
about
know.
tonight.
We've never been woken up, really, about it. We haven't seen any of this shit.
One thing to do note, it doesn't seem like the usual watchers are out tonight. It's none that you notice.
Yeah, I'll go back to sleep. I'll tell Flynn, like, just keep your eyes in that direction.
Will do.
Listen for the clicking.
Oh, okay. Do I hear any more clicking?
Only a perception check.
A big 8.
Gate?
Oh, no.
But a big 8. He said a big
It's
8.
it's a dark, cloudy night. Even the moon is out to kind of illuminate the surroundings. And even with your dark vision, it only goes out so far. Other than the wind and the occasional crunching of snow, nothing.
Yeah, I'm just chilling out on top of the cart though.
So eventually, all of you will wake up in the morning. What would you like to do?
You wake up to the smell of shit as Lucky's fertilizing the trees.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful as always.
Oh, Lucky, did you really have to first thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning is the best time to do it. Before it gets hot.
Oh, that's gonna take some getting used to, but sure.
I hate shit smell.
Oh, really? I thought you would have loved it, Alexis.
You're missing the town yet, Alexis.
I will eat it.
Well, I guess we should continue our journey. Also, what the hell was that?
Yeah, while you guys are sleeping, there was a creepy thing that watched us and made clicking sounds.
It was also
Always.
massive.
It was huge, and Flynn says it wasn't his guy.
Does he have a guy?
You keep saying my guy.
His
Did you
homie.
make babies with the tree people as well? What's going on?
No. I don't.
So this world has a lot of creepy stalkers at night.
That would be correct, yes.
Also,
You think
what
we
guy?
should? What guy?
I'm gonna bump up Alexis's volume by quite a bit.
Yeah, me too. I can.
I think he's
barely
already
hear him.
max for me. I can't
he
do
is
it
for me as
anymore.
well.
I can't even.
He's at 80 for
I'm
me.
I can hold it
struggling.
really close.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
good.
better.
That's good.
That's good.
Just keep it like that.
Okay, I'll put it in my mouth.
Oh god, no, stop. That's horrible.
What?
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
God.
stream. Don't forget, people are watching us, dude.
Sorry,
Right.
stream.
Sorry, extra and Millie. Our 2 viewers.
No, we got a couple more actually right now.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. So, shall we continue on our journey then?
No, let's take it forever.
Oh, come on. I'm gonna continue working on the cloak.
So you continue working on the cloak. Just for the sake of ease, I've also created a party token. So you fucking guys
Oh,
will be
that,
joined.
wow.
It's big, I know. One go to second, it always comes up big.
Wait, what
Alright.
does it look
Oh,
like?
is that supposed to be the sunstone? That's nice.
Little sunstone.
All right. Do you want me to roll for the cloak, by
I
the
like
way?
it.
All right.
Whoops. Thing. Need a measuring tape.
I rolled higher than yesterday on both rolls for the cloak.
Okay, in that case, then it seems like you got a good day's worth of progress.
Okay.
Righty dighty. By the end, or sorry, by the midday of today, you essentially reach the rough approximation of the destination that you wanted to get to, where you're near the Death Head camp, but not directly upon them.
By midday.
About 15 miles away from them.
Well, I guess this is where we make our decision. What do you guys think we should do? We want to get some reconnaissance done, but getting any closer than we are right now is probably going to be a bit more dangerous. We could try and
I have an
maintain.
idea.
Yes, Alexis.
Let's burn it to the ground.
Let's what?
Oh,
Let's burn it to the ground.
Well, that is. I would like to do that as well, but it's a lot harder than it sounds.
We just need a lot of oil.
We don't have that much
Yes.
oil.
reconnaissance
They
first.
probably do.
And then if you happen to be able to throw a torch on your way out, then sure.
I would prefer if we didn't burn this forest down.
Yeah, let's not
The
burn the forest
tree man
down.
might come and kill you if you do that.
Oh shoot, that's right, there are the tree men.
Actually, we've never seen this forest, have we?
You haven't seen it.
Let's how about this? Let's we have a tenuous relationship with the Grove Mother and her forces. Why don't we head directly due west right now, keeping our distance, keeping equidistant from the Death Hits camp, enter into the forest and see if there are any spawn of the Grove Mother around. Perhaps we can commune with these entities and find a better solution to this reconnaissance and perhaps dealing some damage back onto these Death Hits. Who knows, perhaps the Grove Mother might have dealt with them already.
The lesser spawn of the grove are just babies. I don't know if they're capable of that level of
That's fair.
information sharing.
What of attempting to communicate with a greater spawn? Would that not be possible?
I don't know if we can find one. There are guardians, but I've never seen one other than the one that came to us. And they came to us for a pretty bad reason, so...
That's fair. Well, still, I think it would be good to get some lay of the land anyway. Is anybody opposed to heading into the forest and looking around at what kind of forest it is? Also, it would give us some cover on our approach to the Death Hits camp.
By reconnaissance, the reconnaissance you're planning to do at night, are you intending to go into the camp or scout around its borders, or
Scout around its borders. I would prefer if we do not find ourselves in an exposed situation. I was thinking we can leave the cart tied to one of the trees in the forest, and then the rest of us can proceed on foot quietly. Not exactly to the borders of the camp, but getting some good visuals on it. Perhaps finding some good trees that we can climb up and get an elevated look at the camp from.
Sure. I feel like in the day we can probably scout out. There has to be roads going in and out of the camp. We can find those, and we can give the camp a wider berth and see what is, and then we can get closer at night.
Well, moving along roads might not be the best solution for us, because I mean,
I'm not
roads.
saying we move along it. We just want to know where they are.
Right. Still, we do need a better way to approach the camp. I'd rather not approach it from open terrain, which is why I think heading into the forest is the best bet for us right now.
Are
What
we
do you
not in the
guys think?
forest right now? What
No,
kind
we
of
are.
terrain
We
are we
are.
in?
Mainly snowy tundra, kind of large,
Oh.
expanse of pretty much just empty white.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out one of the copies of
Okay.
the map that I have of the area. We are 15 miles away, you said?
Exactly speaking, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna use a protractor and I'm gonna draw a 15-mile circle around the Death Hits camp. I'm going to say, why don't we follow this arc into the forest, keeping this distance from them, and we observe the surrounding area. So we go towards the forest, we see if we find any roads. If we do, we mark it on the map. And besides that, well, I think firstly, no one responded. Does anybody have any objections to heading into the forest? Anybody prefer that we head over open terrain instead?
I would love to head into the forest.
Does sound quite interesting to study it.
Flynn,
Yeah, sure,
Alexis?
let's go. I'm good.
Alexis.
I think he didn't hear your question. He was out of chat at that point.
Yes.
Alexis, do you have any objection to heading into the forest?
No, as long as creepy people don't start.
That's fair.
Stay away from the tree people, and I don't think they'll bother you.
Well, in that case, then let's head further into the forest. Then, Flynn, this way if you don't mind. I'm gonna point out the how to keep a 15-meter distance from the 15-mile distance from the camp while heading to the forest.
Yeah. Are we going all together, or are we separating?
For now, we should be heading as one. We can talk about separation when we're closer. How about that?
Okay, because before we separate, just give me some time to cast a spell.
Of course.
Okay. You were essentially keeping, roughly speaking, a 15-foot wide berth
15 mile.
away from the camp.
15 mile.
Is it different?
You walk up directly to the camp.
15 feet away.
15, yeah, you keep a 15-mile, berth away from the camp to do some essentially reconnaissance around the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm.
Radio. Doing that, I need to roll something, and I need you guys to roll your choice of group perception or investigation. Actually, you know what? Investigation.
Okay.
Damn it. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Intelligence is my strong suit.
Oh no.
No.
That's bad.
Yeah. Kool-Aid man.
That's a 10. For
10.
lucky.
That's a 21 for Adam.
It's a 6 for Flynn.
Oh, so that is
Well, you've been
six
rolling
plus another
so bad.
another 6 for L, yeah.
So, and Adam, all below 10s.
Did Elixis? What did Elixis
10
get?
for me.
Oh my
So everyone is 10 or below.
god.
So, group fails, unsurprisingly.
What do you mean everybody? Didn't Adam get like 21?
Yeah, but it's a
Yeah,
group
It's a
check.
group. Yeah.
Group check.
Oh, you just mean overall. Got you.
Yeah. So speaking, Adam, you on your own seem to be getting a general, decent understanding of the surrounding terrain, but most of the time it's you trying to keep the group in check by trying to keep just a somewhat low profile. Lucky occasionally gets like sidetracked by seeing an interesting piece of flora. Elle seems to get bored halfway through the investigation and begin playing with her hat.
Checks out.
Flynn. I don't know what Flynn would be doing, but he's
I'm
not
just trying to
looking.
humming to myself.
Manning the
Probably doing
horses.
that.
Sounds in my head.
He's worrying about the beast of burden.
Trust me, those are the one things you don't need to worry about.
Oh, fair enough.
At least don't have to worry about them being on their own.
Oh, right.
They will try and eat you if given the chance. Yes, so other than that, you guys don't particularly. You spend maybe the better part of 3 or 4 hours, and then you're getting a rough idea of the landscape surrounding it. It's other than trees. It's nice. It's not too much that you could gain.
These are like the same trees we've been seeing the whole time, right?
Roughly speaking, it seemed to be the same trees. Well, actually, considering how bad you rolled,
Definitely trees.
no, not that. You know what? How would you be essentially looking for terrain? Would you be stealthy about it, or would you going to be just quite brazen?
Oh, stealthy for sure.
Yeah.
But I was gonna cast Pass Without Trace as soon as we
No,
kind of hit
we're not getting off the cart though. The objective is to like move the cart into the forest along the arc while we're looking around. We're not off the cart and walking.
Ah, righty.
hard.
Mhm.
Okay, then as soon as we hit the forest, I'm gonna like hit the perimeter we're scouting. I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace on everyone, including the beasts of burden.
I'm going to say then, Flynn, roll me a stealth check
That's a +10.
with a disadvantage because you're driving a cart, and while you can cast it on creatures, the actual cart itself will apply.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
20
we can
then.
at least slow down. As to make not as much noise.
20 with the plus 10 from the
Okay.
Pass Without a Trace.
So you essentially begin heading through this woods, and one thing that you do notice actually is that there does seem to have been a bit of what seemed to have been deforestation like people seem to be cutting down trees. But other than that, you also occasionally hear what seem to be dragging footsteps.
Oh.
Seems like you do quite well actually. As in whenever you hear these footsteps, you begin to essentially move the cart in a different direction. They seem to get more and more consistent the more that you are in these woods.
Okay, let's.
Which direction are they coming from? The Death Hits camp or
All
like
around
some
you.
other all around us?
It appears this forest is full of creatures moving about. Let's look for a place where we can hide the cart well, either a knoll or preferably a cave. Keep your eyes peeled. We want to leave the cart somewhere undetected that we can come back to it.
Those creepy stalkers will steal it.
I'm sorry, what?
Those creepy stalkers will steal it.
I have no idea what you just said.
Those creepy stalkers will something.
Those
Steal
creepy
it.
stalkers, yes.
Okay. Oh.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's the stalkers, Alexis. This is daytime.
We don't know that.
We don't, however, given our proximity to the Death's camp, it's a higher chance it's one of their ilk.
Yes, and also I don't think these beasts of burden are gonna listen to anyone except Flynn at the moment.
No, they are not. However, the cart does contain valuable items, and I would prefer the cart to be in one piece. Let's try and find a good place to hide it.
But Adam, we're hearing the noises all around us. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the forest itself that's alive. With all the tree people, I don't know what's going on.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Still, I think it's better to be safe than sorry, yes?
Should we try and check out one of these footsteps? Just
Well,
one of us
let's-
leave the
let's-
cart and
Let's hide the cart first, preferably, and then we can check it out together.
we don't know what we're hiding it from. That
Everything.
might help us to determine. I mean,
I mean,
well,
I might be paranoid. But I think that we are heading into unknown territory and we are about to encounter or at least observe unknown creatures. And as much as possible, I would like our assets to be secured. Is that being paranoid?
I just feel like we can hide it better if we know who we're hiding it from. If we're hiding it for tree people, we can't hide it in the trees. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I wasn't gonna say we hide it near trees anyway. I was gonna say we find a knoll or a cave and we hide it there.
You know those big guns you make on your shoulders?
Yes.
Can you make it like really, really big and put it on the cart?
A turret.
Then you could rush into the camp and boom them all.
It doesn't quite work that way, and I can't actually make it that big now.
Boom them all.
It's a good, I like where your head's at, but unfortunately, I'm not quite that powerful. Well, I'll leave the decision to a vote because I honestly believe that our first priority should be hiding the cart, not trying to make contact, because we don't know. Maybe us trying to perceive them might let them perceive us, and then we might find ourselves in a hostile situation.
But then what if we want to leave in that circumstance, though? Then we'd have to sprint back to where the cart is to flee with it.
Yes, that I was banking on that. Is that an issue?
Will the cards fit in your bag?
No.
That's interesting. Interesting.
Alexis thinking outside of the box.
I really like where your head is at, Alexis, but no, unfortunately, will not.
All these great ideas wasted.
Years of academy training wasted.
Alright, I guess we'll look for a place to hide it.
Okay, just roll me then a group perception check. So you can find an area.
Okay, perception is a lot better for our group, though.
Yes, come on. Perception's a little better.
Not
Depends
for
on
me.
the rolls.
30-20.
14.
15.
Natural one.
Aw.
Me
Natural
too.
1, 14, 30, 20.
15.
15. Alright, so that's a group.
3.
So you
What
do
about
find
Alexis?
I
Lexus?
rolled a 1.
What?
Oh,
Two ones.
no.
So that's
Brings the average
3.
down. Brings the average down a bit. But I'd say, essentially, it's not necessarily a hard thing to find. You
Okay,
do,
good.
after maybe about an hour searching, come across what seems to be, a small cave in what seems to be a small, rocky outcropping near the edge of the forest.
Nice.
Well, that should suit our needs perfectly, don't you think?
I don't know where the fuck you found this cave, but nice job.
That was all Flynn.
It's cozy.
Yeah, it's
You know my big brain is sort of weighing in on my eyes. So it's yeah.
What?
It's okay, Alexis. You're tired. I get it. Um, yeah. Let's
So-
let's see if we can't maneuver the cart in a way that would keep it obscured from prying eyes.
So, spending a bit of time, you essentially, it seems to be quite a large cave, at least, entrance, but doesn't go in too deep. It's comfortable enough where you can fit in both the cart and the beast of burden. Yeah, enough done.
Nice.
Let's I'm gonna try and grab some shrubbery, ask for Lucky's help so that I don't kill the plants. But I want to like try and replant some shrubs in front of the cave to kind of like obfuscate it, or maybe even like grab some dead leaves and stuff like that and drape it over the entrance, and like try and make it seem like the entire entrance doesn't exist.
So, as you do that,
I
get you over the
Kill the
Uh,
shrubbery. I would say no.
No, I don't want to kill the shrubbery. I just want to like I just
So-
want to like. Oh, I've seen this
Yeah.
map. I know this map.
map. So, you've at this point parked over in the cave over here,
Mm-hmm.
and since you're about in the local trees, grabbing shrubbery and bushes, please put your tokens to the cave if you'd be able to.
Bum, bada,
Uh,
bum.
We're in the
Like-
cave.
Just in front of the cave or rough there roundabout.
I was just about to say, what if someone lives in there?
Do we not
you're
check?
You're fairly certain that no one lives in the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm assuming it's a cave without a second entrance, right? It's just this entrance and then there's just one cave. There's no like tunnels or anything.
Adam, I believe unfortunately you'll be able to controlling Alexis because who has no control
Yes.
over Roll20 today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. I don't know if
Funny.
I
Nico,
do.
can
I
you
do.
I-
see
down, I closed
Roll20
it
or
down.
do you want me to stream it so that you can see the page?
I can see it on Twitch.
That's slow though, but okay.
So,
I would be
Okay.
like somewhere around here looking for like some like shrubbery that's easy enough to not kill when uprooting.
so
I wouldn't recommend it because it's just snowing. I don't think we can successfully replant the shrubbery.
Ah, then what do we do instead?
I mean, dead leaves and stuff I'm fine with. You can pile up some snow.
Well, okay, sure. Then give me a hand with that. Grab some dead leaves instead.
Yeah.
So, as you begin grabbing the dead leaves and pieces of foliage that have already been either dead or just laying around, you begin to hear rustling in the woods, specifically from certain trees around you.
Which trees?
Specifically, trees around this area, and this area over here.
Everybody, stay put. Quiet. Keep your eyes
that.
peeled.
Begin to see some of these trees begin to move.
Are they red?
They seem to be red.
Oh.
I'm gonna give everybody eyes of night so that we have infinite dark vision in case we need to see.
So it is still essentially afternoon, late afternoon, so the sun's still up.
Yeah, it's just to give everybody infinite range, basically.
Lucky, are these
You
children?
So you begin to see these trees begin to shift and move, their branches twisting and cracking into position that more closely aligns them to a rough humanoid form.
Mm-hmm.
With that, you begin to see the rough wooden skeletal-like structure of these trees beginning to groan and moan towards you.
Are they children, Lucky? Are they
What do they look like? Do they look like the reclaimed?
They look like this.
Oh,
That looks like reclaimed to me.
it does.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call out in Druidic, I guess. Like, hello there. We don't mean any harm. Just sheltering here.
As you begin to speak, all of them begin to turn towards you.
Why? They did not know we were here. Lucky.
And they begin to move towards you.
Hmm.
I am going to stand
I'm gonna
right.
walk up to meet them.
I'm gonna make sure I'm right behind Lucky just in case.
Yeah, I wanna be close to.
Just gonna back a little bit up into the cave.
Lucky, roll me a history check.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. 10.
So you remember reading about these in the book, the Reclaimed, or the Claimed of the Grove.
Mm-hmm.
But it was near the end of the book, and you'd already been like researching all day, so your memory's not good. Do you remember that they're not quite the same as many of the other Grove? It's kind of just going through your mind as one of them begins to get right up into your face,
Is it about to
staring at
attack?
you.
Don't try not to attack. I don't want to repeat of the last situation.
And you see it scream in your face. As you begin to see the roots surrounding its arms and legs and torso begin to wrap around it, almost covering up the skeletal structure, turning it almost into a large creature. As this
Lucky,
one
what's it
screams,
doing?
the rest of them begin to let out this horrific scream, and all of them begin to get large.
Lucky, if our lives are
That's
in
cool.
danger, we are going to have to attack these creatures.
Do not attack. Just run away. I don't
T-
think they move very fast.
With that,
Our cart is
attacks
right
you.
here. Wait, does it attack Lucky?
attacks Lucky.
Oh.
Immediately, like, can I do a held action?
Roll initiative. You did not declare it.
Ah,
No,
fuck.
it's too
Damn
late,
it! Yeah, I
it's too
wanted to
late.
declare it. Wanted to declare it.
Don't
Fuck,
attack it.
So, roll initiative.
Damn it.
Oh, did it not? Oh.
I'm gonna remove the initiative from previous 1 minute. Forget
Oh, that's
those. Just
right.
re-roll.
Oh, I do have advantage though. Oh.
Oh, that's
Well,
the exact
I-
same as I rolled in real life. Nice.
I get a 9 with advantage. Wonderful. Let me change
Annual
that.
advantage.
Alexis has a 15. I have a 14.
Why would we not attack them?
Because the Grove Mother's gonna be pissed because this is part of her army or whatever.
True,
Didn't
but
we
then
read about these at the beginning?
Hmm?
Didn't we like go over what these were at the beginning of the session?
what are
Yes.
they?
They're under control of the Grove Mother.
Specifically speaking, they are mindless undead that only attack things that they see. As a
Oh, you
form of
didn't say
punishment.
that. I thought they were like
No,
controlled.
This
You
is a
said they were
punishment
like
for
guards.
yeah, guards,
What is-
but they're essentially speaking. These are
Oh.
essentially punishment defilers get. They are forced essentially to become mindless undead, roaming the woods, attacking anyone else that comes into the woods.
Would-
that isn't a corruption.
Would attacking
Oh,
them
I
be
thought they were
cons-
more aware and they were like set
Oh,
to
no, these things are
guard
mindless.
specific
Right.
things. I didn't know they're just wandering the whole forest.
Would they?
I mean,
Would
my
they?
bad for not describing them properly.
Right. Based on the description, do we think the Grove Mother would be pissed if we had to fight them?
No.
No.
These essentially these are people that are being punished for defiling her forest. That have been turned into these things as a punishment.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Damn
that
it.
would've- Yeah,
It's my bad
we didn't-
for not
We
explaining.
were
so I
not
apologize.
aware.
no, that's fine. It's fine. We can figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, at least I get a turn before the one that's about to smack Lucky.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
getting
no, he
punched by trees.
Yeah, no, he gets that. He essentially gets that as a free thing. As
Aw,
surprise
damn
round,
it.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's a 14
As
hit. You
Lucky's
lucky.
like, it's fine, I'll get slapped. by trees."
Just hits.
Tits. There you go. And you get 44.
Oh, but if it starts, it's wait. Can I use my Halo Spores on it?
As a reaction, yes, you can.
Okay. 1d4. That's a 2
Oh,
necrotic.
damn! Take 14 points. Take 15 points of damage. This thing essentially just punches you.
Okay, rude. It takes 2 necrotic damage.
2 necrotic damage. Ready, lady. Yeah, let me get the right music on at least.
Yeah.
This is to Winter
Peaceful
Wonderland.
2
combat.
Winter Wonderland.
Oh shit, she's here. What do we do?
Hmm?
The Grove Mother's here.
Oh, goddamn it, extra.
Wait, what?
I
Where?
want her to be here.
In the roleplay chat.
Oh.
I wish she was here.
Boo. Uh-oh.
Yes, that would clarify some things if we could ask her some questions.
With initiative, it seems to be another one of these claimed of the Grove. He begins to make his way over towards Adam.
I am before him, but I wasn't like at the bottom for whatever reason.
Oh, whoops, you must have rolled initiative late, so I'll just redo that.
Yeah. Well, I rolled it
so you
like
back.
right away, but I don't think I clicked on my token for whatever reason. So
Back
my
then.
bad.
Right here. So, that's how initiative. It's Flynn.
I'll move there and then smack it.
Yeah.
13 to hit.
13 misses.
Okay. I'll bonus action unarmed attack, not flurry of blows. That's a 25 to hit.
25 hits.
7 bludgeoning damage, and I'll take a key point to do patient defense.
Okay.
And
Next
that'll
up.
be
Is claimed of the Grove. He is going to make his way over towards Adam.
Mhm.
And he... Oh, so many fun things I could do with these things. No, I'll say that for later. He is going to bite, and then he's going to try and claw you.
So many fun things.
So many fun things. So bite. Is a 20 hit?
Shield.
Yield, so the bite misses. And then next up is the claw. Natural one, so it misses as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's its go over. Next up is Elixis.
Oh, I've been deleted from the turn order for some reason.
Oh, what'd you roll?
11. Do you want me to roll again?
How does Adjuin?
Okay.
I wanna attack the one next to Adam.
Get close to it.
Benny.
Then if you'd be so kind.
Benny, are you controlling Elixis?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so Alexis will move up. You're attacking the one next to me, which will give you sneak attack. You don't have advantage, so let me roll to hit. What is your plus to hit?
Wait, I am rolling.
Oh, you're rolling. Oh, okay.
I will attack with my short sword. I rolled a 4, so 9 to hit.
Fortunately.
Bonus
Jeez.
action to help Adam.
I'm not gonna attack again.
No.
Okay.
Next up is Adam.
Okay, I am going to. So help gives me advantage on this guy, right? Okay, but first,
He's
as a...
going to make attack.
Yeah.
Attack roll, yes.
Yeah, all right. So I am going to first of all create a protector turret over here. It was my bonus action, and that's going to give 1d8 plus 4 hit points to everyone. It's the same amount of hit points, so I'm going to roll that in a second. So everybody except L gets 1d8 plus 4. It's because of 10 feet radius. That would be, oh, that's a 7. 7 plus 4, 11 temporary hit points to all 4 of us.
Wow, okay.
Hope you had that.
Okay, and then with my action, I'm going to turn my cannon, turn my arm into a cannon. Except this time it's a bit different because like it's still the Gauss rifle, but the lighting on it is a bit different. It's more like a sea green, and I'm going to Eldritch Blast the one right next to me.
This attack will have disadvantage because you're firing into combat or firing into melee.
But the advantage from Alexis will cancel it out, right?
Disadvantage of that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that would be a total of 16 to hit. 10 plus 6.
16 hits.
16 hits. Okay. And damage for that is 1d10 plus something. 1 second. Wait, no plus something because I'm not a warlock.
Just D10.
Yeah, it's just a d10. Sorry. Where's my d10? There it is. 8 points of force damage.
Thank you.
Alright, and that is... You know what? I'm going to take the opportunity attack and I'm going to move over here.
He's going to try and bite you.
Okay?
17 to hit.
Miss.
Rightio. Okay, next up is Claim to the Grove. He's the one who's far away, so he is going to get a bit closer. Let me get over here. Look at there, and he will then attempt to bite and claw at Flynn. 18 to hit on the bite,
Yeah, that hits.
and a 19 to hit on the claw.
Yeah.
So that's 44 plus 46. 13 damage. And then 20 damage.
Oh, okay.
Ow.
Wow.
So, Flynn,
wait,
you
did
use...
do that at disadvantage?
Oh, yeah, patient defense. 1 minute.
First one I'll hit
Uh,
anyway.
The claw will not hit, so you don't take the 20 points of damage.
Oh, okay, good.
Next up is Lucky.
Okay. Gonna use primal savagery on this one. So you see Lucky's claws and teeth kind of like grow longer and like there's acid dripping from them. What is this? Melee spell attack. Does a 16 hit?
16 hits.
Okay, d10. 6 points of acid damage.
6 points of acid damage, radio.
Yeah. That's my turn.
Next up is L.
Huh. I think. Would she use this? I think she'll try to guiding bolt at first level. At
Give them colors just to make it easier to determine.
okay,
each
cool.
one.
Oh, okay. I will try to hit green then.
Okay. Hit.
Going in front of Lucky. Come on. What's my plus? 15.
15 hits.
Yay. Okay. D6s. Well, I rolled only ones and twos.
Aw.
So that is... There's no plus to damage. Yeah, so that's just 6.
6, okay.
And
This
then
one-
it's illuminated with the light so that whoever hits it next will have advantage.
It seems like the green one seems to be bloodied as you're chipping away at what seems to be exterior armor, showing more of its inner wooden covered skeleton. Right. Next up is Red Boy. He's going to come up to you, El, because he sees you in the back. Take a... No, he's not taking a rotating from Adam. He's going to make 2 attacks against you.
Okay.
Natural 1. And a 10. Both of those miss.
Yes.
And-
Thank goodness. These boys hurt.
Rolls on my part. Next up is Claim to the Grove, and he is going to attack... He's going to attack L, because he just... L. Sorry, Lucky.
Okay.
His ass clawed him.
Oh.
Right here, dirty 20 to hit. That hits. And then for the claws, another natural 1. So, bitey bite.
Which color? Whose turn is it right now?
Green.
Green.
Oh, can he do a con save for Halo's Force?
Oh, yes, you can.
DC,
failed.
what's a DC? 13?
Guaranteed failed. I rolled a 2.
Oh, okay. That's 3 necrotic damage.
Okie. Then for your damage, 3d6 plus 4. 12 points of damage. Damn, I'm rolling shit today.
Good.
Good.
Points of damage. Okay, next up is Flynn.
Yeah, I'll attack the green one. And I think I have advantage on the first hit now.
Yes, you have attack and you have advantage on your first attack.
It's good. Didn't matter, it was only 11, so...
Oh.
Unarmed strike, that missed too. I guess that's my turn.
You missed both
Actually,
times.
I'll spend another key point for patient defense.
Okay. And next up is Orange. He is going to attack Elixis. So 2 attacks against you, Elixis. 16 to hit you.
Hits. Hits.
Okay, okay. That's the bite, and then the claw. 12. Okay, 12 hits you. So the bite's coming in. 14 points of damage.
Said how
15.
much?
14 points of damage.
I still can't hear it.
1-4.
14. 1-4.
1-4.
Yep. Next up is Elixis.
1 second. So I wanna attack the one that I attacked before. So the orange one. Is that orange?
Yeah, it's
Orange.
orange.
Okay. I attack him once with my short sword.
Okay, roll to hit.
Uh, I rolled the wrong thing. Okay, so it's 19.
19 hits.
24 to hit.
Hits.
So I'm gonna use. Can I use sneak attack? Lucky is there, right?
Lucky's there, so you get an attack.
So 7 plus 2d6. I don't like rolling in D&D Beyond anymore.
Don't you have real dice?
I lost them.
What?
Oh no.
No! That's the worst that can happen to dice.
Okay, so I
Everyone
rolled a
donate to the
10
Igloo
over-
GoFundMe for dice.
Did you roll, sorry?
Okay, so 10 in total.
Total damage?
Yes, 7, 1, 2.
Okay.
And
Next.
my second attack for offhand
Mhm.
with my dagger, nice dagger. And I rolled a 1.
I misses, unfortunately. Hey, is that you go?
No.
Yeah, that's his action and bonus action.
Next up is Adam.
Okay, I am going to... Oof. So who took hits? Alexis took a hit.
Everyone's taken a hit except I think you, Adam.
L
Shit.
has not yet.
Yeah,
L has not.
And L.
both
Okay.
failed against L.
Yeah, but L is also not in range. Okay, I'm gonna refresh the hit points using my bonus action. So, on my bonus action, I'm going to activate the protected turret, and everybody gets 5 plus 4, so 9 temporary hit points. If you had more than 9, it doesn't change it. But if you had less than 9 temporary hit points, you go to 9 now, except for L.
Didn't you say the range was 10?
Yeah, the range is 10. That's why I said except for L. You're more than 10 feet away.
Oh, it's not you. It's the.
It's the turret.
Got you,
Yeah,
got
it's the
you,
turret.
got you.
low blow.
Yeah.
I do have like a turret token that would be easier.
Oh, that'll be perfect. Thank you.
It's sort of futuristic, but it'll work for Adam.
Yeah. Just put it down in that spot. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So 10 feet from the turret is the thing.
Nice.
I think I can give it at a radius. Actually, give me a second.
Okay. So then for my action, damn it. Damn it.
Damn it.
What?
What's wrong?
No, I couldn't do my thing because I had to use my bonus action. Here, let me see. It's like fuck. My plan went to shit.
You got it.
Can people see that, Oreo?
What
Yeah,
are-
that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's a cool aura.
Yeah.
All right, you know what?
An aura.
You know what? All right, I'm just gonna do it. I'm going to Eldritch Blast, the one that is next to Elixis, and I'm gonna tell El, try and get out of there if you can. Don't get pinned down.
So that would be disadvantage because you're still firing from melee.
No, I'm firing at Elixis, the one next to Elixis, not on the one next to me.
But you're still in his range.
Am I in his range?
You're right next to him.
No,
You're
no,
talking
no.
to this
He's
guy, you're
firing
still
at the
in melee.
orange
No, no, no. I'm firing
He's
at
10
orange.
feet
Oh,
away.
right, sorry.
I'm firing at
Yeah.
orange. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, I guess we should
apologize.
use colors. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm firing at orange. All right. Misses anyway. It's a total of 11.
Yeah, 11 misses, unfortunately.
Yep, that's my turn.
Cool.
Come on, guys.
Next up is Blue. So he is going to essentially... Yeah, he's going to get up, essentially, next to Flynn, up to Adam. He's going to try and attack Adam.
All right, bring it.
So he's not going to attack you, Adam, actually.
Uh-oh.
He'll do something else.
It's worse.
He's gonna grapple me, isn't he?
No.
Because I would grapple me.
He's going to infuse you into his skeleton bark.
Roll me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, thank
See, yeah.
God.
Oh.
You're a smart boy. You picked the wrong target.
25.
Fucked.
25.
25, so you're fine. But what you see essentially is this creature, the kind of wooden armor around its mouth essentially, parts for a second, and you see its disgusted wooden teeth let out horrific, maddening speech. It's not necessarily anything that you can properly comprehend as you're able to stave it off, but it seems like this thing is trying to impart some kind of madness onto you, but it fails.
Be careful. They appear to be able to fuck with our minds.
So it's
I'll
lucky.
just be sure to. I'll be sure to watch my mind. Thanks.
Which one's the one on initiative 3? Which color?
Initiative 3, that's green.
If you
Okay.
hover, no,
wait,
that's
that's
red.
red. What do you
That's red.
mean?
If you hover over the
Red,
initiative,
sorry,
it tells you.
one's green, yeah.
Oh my god. Life hacks. Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty
casting-
useful.
Blindness, deafness on that one then? The red one?
Mhm.
Does the con save DC 13?
E13, okay.
Mhm.
Just roll any stats because I'm gonna break my box. Constitution. Oh, he's actually one of the few things he's good at. 22.
Oh god. This spell has never worked. Okay, that's my turn.
Sorry.
What?
Next
What
up
is?
is L.
What is that spell?
Blindness,
and
deafness.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Monsters tend to
Okay.
have con.
I will move. I don't know if I want to go next to Alexis or next to Adam.
I mean, either way, within the radius.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter. And for what she's gonna do, the range is fine as well. So she's gonna use her channel divinity, which I guess I didn't really describe when I used it for the first time. It's called Twilight Sanctuary, which I think is pretty perfect. But I guess basically what you see from Elle is this kind of gentle, kind of like moonlight almost. This purple light starts emanating from her. And now that she has a little sunstone as a necklace, she can say like that's the point of like where the light comes from.
Nice.
So that's what everyone ends their turn there. You're gonna get temporary hit points.
So many
'cause-
temporary hit points.
Yeah.
Wait. So how many?
Is this an aura?
Is it what?
Is this an aura?
Yes, it's 30-foot radius.
All right. How many do we get from that?
It's a D8, so I'll have to roll at the when you end your turn.
Okay.
And also, just so you guys know, I can choose to end instead one effect if you're charmed or frightened, but nobody is yet. So just keeping that in mind, I can also do that. But yeah, right now it's just the temporary hit points.
There you go.
And I don't
Wow.
think I have any bonus action that I want to use. Checking. Oh, so I guess that was my channel divinity, so that wasn't a spell. Yeah, I mean, fuck it, spiritual weapon as a bonus action then.
What do you want your spiritual weapon to be?
Still the same, like super
scythe?
gaudy, like
I think
spiritual.
you already had a thing for it.
It's like
You put it on the map
the-
last time.
Oh, that was Guy that put it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like the purple ethereal like scythe is what she conjures. And who does she want to try to hit? Who looks more hurt between the orange and the red?
Orange and the red, definitely orange.
Okay. And being oh no, the spell didn't go through, never mind. Okay. Oh yeah, then I'll try to hit the orange one with it then. And what's my plus? To hit. Wow! Natural 20!
Nice.
I did, I did.
Yeah.
Also, one minute, I'm sorry this is taking so long. Like a scythe.
Oh no, that's fine. It's fine.
Scythe.
This is a very interesting formation we're in.
It is. Natural 20. Okay, so double damage die.
Yeah, 2d8 now.
What's your wisdom?
So 13.
13 points of
Bam.
damage.
Smack.
Hey, died. Oh, this
Okay,
guy
that's
looks
what I
almost
got.
dead.
Sweet. And then I'll roll for my temporary hit points. Oh, not great. 3, but that's fine.
Next up is Red. He sees you doing magic bullshit and doesn't care for that at all.
This is my whole life, guy. Oh,
I know.
Magic. Fuck her.
Radio. So first, the bite
Okay.
is an 18.
Always, yes, always. 18 is what hits.
Next is a claw and is 17.
Okay, good.
Rolling really below average today. So the bite hits. I think I've only hit the claw once. The bite, which is the bigger damage one of what I have been hitting with though consistently. So take 15 points of damage.
Oh, okay.
And these are bruisers.
Ouch.
These are bruisers. All right. Next up is Green, and he is going to attempt attack. No, he's going to do. It's against Finn, claw against Lucky. My dice.
Okay,
is
I'll
falling.
have him make a con save.
I'll do the con save first. He succeeds, unfortunately. Natural 20.
Okay.
So for Flynn, disadvantage because you got patient defense, correct?
Yeah.
18 then.
Yeah, that still hits.
Okay, also
Lucky-
for bite, and then Lucky. Oh shit. Natural 1, so he misses you, Lucky. I've rolled 3 natural 1s in this goddamn combat, Jesus.
Lucky, don't forget the blue is also within range of your halo.
The what?
The blue is also within range of your halo.
I know, but I can only use it once a turn, so
46 plus
I
4,
think it's a reaction.
15 points of damage.
Oh,
Flynn.
it's a reaction.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a reaction.
Yeah, I always thought it just happened. Oh, okay.
Flynn, take 15 points of damage. Next up is Flynn.
I'm gonna try and hit.
You
It
got
seems
it.
Like, it seems like you're very good at exterminating fish people, but trees, not so much.
10 on my quarterstaff. I'm gonna spend a key point to flurry of blows.
Mhm.
Okay, 20 and
Yeah.
18. Okay, finally.
Flynn has
8.
calibrated.
8. Okay. So
See?
16 overall. That was max damage on both rolls. A little bit of
Yeah.
luck finally.
So you
and
kill
I'll
it.
have it. Oh. Okay.
Whoa! Alright.
It's dead.
Nice.
Take me out. This boy is dead. So how do you kill it?
After missing so many times, I'm just really pissed and just punch it 2 times in the mouth.
So you see Flynn kind of just slam it with its quarterstaff onto what seemed to be quite a thick portion of wood on its shoulder. Does nothing. You kind of see this thing. It almost probably just reflexively opens its mouth, but Flynn kind of sees it as like it smiles at him cockily. So you know what he does? He jumps up on it, slaps it once in the mouth, dislocates the jaw, then essentially using its knee and to bounce up, grabbing the underside of it, ripping it out, taking the whole head with it. He dies.
Flynn is all about
Actually, I need to roll
the
4.
knees and the jaws. He breaks every knee and jaw that he sees.
I actually need to check because this thing does have undead fortitude, so it might not actually die.
Ugh, God damn it.
So 16. Actually, no, it's dead. Even with the thing, it cannot survive. 21. So it's dead. Next up is orange.
Oh wait, let me give you temporary hit points for Flynn. 1. Great.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, so Flynn No, it's not Flynn, sorry. Orange is going to let one attack out at Lucky and one at Alexis. So he's going to do bite against Alexis and claw against Lucky. 11 on Lucky.
Doesn't hit.
Alexis, 17.
Hits.
Okie dokie. 46 plus 4. 18 points of damage.
What?
18 points of damage.
Nope. What?
Yeah, they've been fucking us up.
I cannot hear you.
1-8.
1, 8, 18.
Okay.
Next up is Alexis.
I'm nearly dead.
Yeah, if you
Oh,
need to
gosh.
get out, buddy.
I'm gonna take a few steps
Engage.
back, take disengage as a bonus action.
Because I'll move you back,
Uh,
maybe.
forgot to
Yeah.
apply my last damage.
How far back did you want to go, Igloo? Like 10 feet?
Yeah, 10 feet.
Okay.
And I will throw my useless dagger here.
It's not useless.
Useless dagger, go!
It's a +1 dagger that I made for you.
I think he's
Not
doing it.
that
I think he's
bad.
doing his non +1.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
that's less.
okay,
that's
fair
less
enough.
hurt.
Yeah.
Less emotional damage.
I'm gonna throw it on the orange guys, so 21 to hit.
1 hits. Damage plus sneak attack.
Kill him. Kill him.
5 damage. Do I get sneak attack?
Ranged and
Lucky's right here.
Melee. He's
Yeah.
there,
Yep,
so yeah.
Lucky's
yeah.
within 5, yep.
So 5 plus
So max damage is
5 plus 6.
7.
Yeah.
Is dead.
Yay!
Does it die?
I don't.
So
I
essentially,
cut off all its branches.
So essentially, what you do is you kind of throw your dagger, less kind of straightforward and more in a kind of spinning motion, and it cuts the side of its throat into what seemed to be the top vertebra of its spine, causing its head to lull to the side, and eventually, just from the sheer weight, snaps off and falls down. Let's see if he can hold together, because he might actually survive on his DC saving throw. He does actually survive, so it seems just before his head falls over, some of the branches seem to snap onto his neck and hold it just barely in place. He's at 1 hit point. He is not dead yet.
Oh, come
Wow.
on.
Oof.
What an ass!
Yeah.
Next up is Adam.
Okay. Seeing that they apparently don't have a lot of hit points, but seeing that this one kind of respawned, I'm just gonna look around, and I'm gonna say, wait, sorry, Lucky, you had something?
Alexis,
Mm,
yeah, we all...
where's my HP?
Oh, you're right. Temporary hit points. Oh my
I
gosh,
need
another
HP, I'm at
one.
4.
You get one
You
temporary
get one
hit point
temp hit point.
again.
Oof.
God
Okay.
damn it! Come on, DA.
All right. I'm gonna yell out, abandon defense. Offense is your best option, and I'm going to run, taking 2 opportunity attacks. Going to run up here.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, God. Okay, one is gonna bite you, one's gonna try and claw at you.
Sure. Go
Blue
for
will
it.
claw, red will bite. Alright, blue is a 21 to hit.
Shield miss.
Okay. Shield for the 1 attack, or is it for all attacks then?
The shield is for my entire round until my next turn.
Okay. And then the next one is 21, so again, those are
Both
both of them
miss.
miss.
Yeah.
Balancing off your magical protection, which you cast upon yourself.
All right, and then while running here, I'm going to use my bonus action since we have temp hit points from L. I'm going to break down my protector and convert it into a flamethrower, and I'm going to have it just cook these 2. So
Okay.
that's deck saves for
Is-
both of them.
Oh,
That
okay.
they are not good at deck saves. I can just tell you that right now.
All right.
They're very
Yeah.
lumbersome boys. All right, first one, 17 actually, and next one's 7.
Okay, so first one passes, second one
First one's blue.
fails. All right, so that's 2d8. The one that passes takes half. So Oh, nice. 8 plus 5, so that's 13. Full fire damage for the one that failed, and then 6 fire damage for the one that passed.
Okie dokie.
Alright, and then my action, Cure Wounds on Alexis, first level.
Okay.
That will be 1d8 plus 4. 8, so 12 points of healing to Alexis.
Okay.
I heard
Next.
Alexis.
Yeah, I gave you 12 points of healing. I Cure Wounds you at first level.
Nice.
Alright, and then
Not
that's
gonna die.
the end of my turn. I'm standing between Alexis and Orange.
Okay. Next up is on the Grove, and he sees you, El. He looks at you, and you see the wood armor around his mouth dissipate again, and again, through that horrible cracked wooden teeth, lets out a maddening spew of words. Roll an intelligence saving throw.
Shut the fuck up.
By the way, the turret doesn't have the aura anymore because it's no longer a protector.
Oh
Okay.
my Jesus Christ. Another fucking one!
Ow.
We're all rolling badly this question.
Oh, badly this
How many
session.
ones in a row now?
So you actually do begin to comprehend the maddening words that this thing begins to spew into your mind, and it begins to crack the strong sort of persona that you created for yourself, and you succumb to the effects of madness.
What do we see happen?
Yeah,
So
what do
you
I
see-
like? How do I feel exactly? Like,
So you see this creature again. It's wood armor around its mouth, like essentially go away for a second, and everyone else just begins to move its mouth. Nothing comes out, but to you, El, it lets out a string of maddening proverbs and prophecies into your mind.
So she's the only one that can hear it.
The
Flynn,
only
kill
one that
that
can
one.
hear it, yes.
Okay,
But
yeah, she definitely she just starts. She like crouches down and grabs onto her like witch hat real tight.
Well, no, you're about to get an effect. Roll D100.
Oh no. Okay.
Would Adam know what's happening since that it tried to do it on him?
You know it's trying to mess with her mind somehow, but you didn't essentially succumb to the effect, so it could be anything related to them.
Right, but like I know it's trying to fuck with her basically.
It's just trying to fuck with her, yeah.
Can I like yell out to Flynn to kill that one?
I mean, I'm
Your
standing next to it, so.
Fair enough.
Uh,
I'm still gonna try to like, Flynn, prioritize that one or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And then
So-
you don't know if the effect is concentration. It could just be.
Yeah, but I mean it's worth a shot.
What's happening to me?
Roll D100.
Oh gosh. Okay. How mad can I get?
This the madness table.
Yeah, the madness table.
This is short-term madness, yes.
Let's see. 84.
D4?
8-4.
So you kind of hear these maddening cries from this creature, and your body just shuts down, or stunned.
Oh gosh.
Until you make the saving throw, you are stunned.
All right.
Radio. Next up in the ninja tab is Lucky.
Okay. I'm just gonna go for the one that's almost dead, I guess. With primal savagery.
Mhm.
15 hit?
15 hits.
Well, it's one hit point, right? So 3 acid damage.
It still has to roll its undead fortitude.
Oh, right.
It's still up. You
Oh
punch
my
it through
God.
its chest, the acid burning away through its skeleton. You actually punch through its armor, into the actual skeleton, through the wood, and you can see underneath it is actual human bone. Kind of rotted and blackened now, but it's still there. And as your fist removes the acid burn it, you see the body almost begin to crumble, but again, almost like a patchwork skeletal job. Roots inside it begin to try and just hold the skeleton together.
Dang,
Mm.
Still up.
it's annoying.
Rip.
So, El, roll me an intelligence saving throw, El.
No, can I do my bonus action?
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. Gonna. Hold on.
What was the
Gonna
effect?
healing word L.
Word
Oh.
El? Okay.
Healing. What is it?
Has L taken damage?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize.
So that's a 4.
Great
Healing.
points.
Thank you.
By the way, did I miss the effect on L? What was the effect on L?
She's stunned until she makes a
I
saving throw.
am paralyzed.
Oh, fuck.
Paralyzed, you're stunned. Paralyzed is a different thing.
Oh, I didn't realize they were different.
Yeah.
Yeah, paralyzed is you fall on the ground, essentially, and you cannot do anything. And you're technically helpless. So every attack against you was a crit.
Gotcha.
Alright, next up is Elle, so roll me an intelligence saving throw.
Come on, baby. Alright, there we go. It's not a 1. Do I have any plus for the saving throw? Yes. So that's a 19.
You succeed. So at the end of your turn, you were no longer stunned.
Oh, thank goodness.
Ew. Next up is Red. Sorry I have to do this to you. Roll another intelligence saving throw.
God damn it, I rolled another 1 for my temporary hit points. What the fuck? That's been 4 ones. Alright, here we go. That's a 12.
You fail.
Oh my!
Roll another D100.
What?
So she just comes to after being stunned and is like, what the fuck? And
Again,
then immediately it's just
Immediately afterwards.
The dice gods hate us.
They do today.
Okay, that is a 26.
26?
What does that get me?
Okay, you begin to hear your mind weaken from the previous verbal assault of madness. You you begin either your choice of screaming, laughing, or weeping till you succeed a saving throw.
Oh, definitely laughing. Els is definitely just cackling with madness at this point. Just.
So you are incapacitated laughing until you succeed.
Lightgate, pull it together!
Rolling on the ground. Like,
I love these things so much.
I don't!
There we go. No, little madness cycle back on you. Next up is Flynn.
Alright, I don't know if I should try and... So, would range attacks have disadvantage if I'm trying to hit, orange?
Well, technically speaking, on this person there, he would have half cover because you're throwing essentially directly in the line of both Adam's turret and Lucky.
Alright, never mind then. I'll just,
Lucky, I
hit
forgot
blue.
to roll for your temporary hit points. You get
I still have 11. I haven't been hit at all,
Okay,
so don't worry about
then,
it.
yeah.
Oh, you still have
probably
11
should
from
pick
the
higher
turret?
one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow! That was a while ago.
Alright,
Must be
so-
nice. I'm just getting screamed at over here.
I haven't taken a hit yet either, but I've spent spell slots to do
For
that.
once, Adam isn't down.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm trying to keep going for flurry of blows because I missed my quarterstaff hit again.
Again. You got hit once with that thing yet.
Alright, that 20 for my flurry
Okay.
of blows. For one
Woo!
of them anyways, and then 12 for the other one, which I assume.
12.
Wood doesn't want to hit wood, man. I don't know what it is.
It's like the magnets, just can't do
It's like repel.
it.
11 for my flurry of blows, and then I'll have him make a dex save of 13.
Oh, okay. Saves. Okay. Let me get his deck saves up.
Ralston, do you mind if I open the Kalbi? I'm still kind of hungry.
Just eat it. That's what I gave it to you.
Alright, fair enough.
As long as it's not
Mute
ghost
yourself when you're
pepper,
eating.
Benji, please. No ghost pepper.
And so it fails.
Then it's prone.
Okay, so this boy essentially is knocked off his wooden feet, is prone.
And then that's my turn.
Will do. Okay, next up is Orange. He's going to attack Adam twice.
Can I get him
That's
to make a
6
con save?
temporary hit points for
Can.
Flynn if that's higher than what you have currently.
Fails.
Fails?
Fails, so you rolled a 10 with modifiers.
Okay. That's 4 necrotic damage.
Right. I need to roll this boy's save again.
Please die.
Fucking
Come
this
on.
the one thing I roll good at. Natural 20, this boy's still up.
Oh my
Killed me
god.
like 3 times, man.
So again, you
Oh
let
my
out this
gosh.
essentially spew of necrotic energy, rotting its body to an extent where it's just barely standing up, but again, just from the ground, roots wrap around it as again for a makeshift body. This thing is teetering
Oh my
and
gosh.
tottering, pieces are falling off it. Majority of the actual skeleton is no longer there. It's just like essentially the main cranial matter is still there and just barely holding on. Okay, so Adam attacks.
Wow.
Natural 20 on the fucking claw. Then
Wow.
natural
Okay.
1 on the fucking bite. Jesus.
The 21
Okay.
misses, but natural 20 hits.
So I need 8d4. Sorry.
Gosh.
D4
This
plus
guy
4.
is like a freaking zombie movie where like you shoot it and it's like fine, you shoot it again, it's
27
fine.
damage.
2-7.
And 27 points of damage coming your way.
All right.
What?
Well, I'm still fairly fine because I still have my 11. So then that is 16 points of damage. So I'm not actually that bad. Don't worry.
This boy is the only thing I've rolled good on this entire session so far.
He's the best boy.
other than the creature's stealth roll, but that's beside the point. Alright, next up is Alexis.
I guess that makes sense.
Okay, so I sort of want to use Adam as a stepping stone, jump on him, and with my dagger out and like put the dagger inside the thing's head.
Okay, roll me an acrobatics check and see if you can do that.
Okay.
I do have very wide shoulders.
And you're all metal, so you're the perfect stepping stone.
I rolled a 4 again, so
So
9.
you go to do this, you try and step on Adam's shoulders, but he's just surprised because you're trying to fend off this guy's attack, so he kind of shrugs you off. You don't fall prone, but you kind of stumble backwards.
Oh.
Still have your action. You just can't jump on him.
What does Adam say as this Catman tries to jump on him and
Just move to the side and throw your dagger at him.
That's not cool enough.
Exactly, not cool enough. Wait, I still have my action, right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
still have your action.
So maybe I can try again?
No, it's so that you use
Oh
most
my
of your
God.
movement, okay? I'm not saying use your entire movement to attempt that. You failed, so you've got
Okay.
action left.
That's funny.
Okay. So I guess I will just move to the side. Okay, I move to the side and attack him with my short sword.
Roll a hit.
Ooh, crit!
Crit. Fine. This
Yay.
thing might die actually. Then. All right. Roll 2d8 plus 4d6.
Ooh, but wait, he has 1 HP, right?
Well, yeah, but he has might have undead fortitude, so you're just increasing his save DC to not die.
Okay. So that's... Wait,
So-
2d6
2d8
and...
plus 4d6.
What? Why 2d8? I have a short sword.
Yeah, short sword is a d8, isn't it?
No.
No.
D6.
It's... Okay, so...
So
4
so
plus 3,
66.
7. 7
Whoa.
plus... 7 plus 18, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, so this thing cannot physically roll high enough to save, so it finally dies.
Fucking finally.
So Elixir just comes up and with a flurry of like swift, sharp slices, just cuts this thing into ribbon, just cutting all of the support things that it roughly made to keep itself together, and just crumbles on itself.
I
There's
look at
Adam
Adam
now.
and say, hey, this was still cool.
Yes.
Well, if you don't have any temporary hit points, you get 1. This is not going well. The light is not shining upon me today.
Alright, Adam, it's your go.
I'm gonna burn these two motherfuckers.
Alright,
Deck saves. Yeah.
I roll. Blue saves again, surprisingly, with a natural 19 minus 2.
Since he's
And-
doesn't he immediately fail? Am I
Oh
missing
yeah,
it?
no, he immediately fails. That's right.
Right, that's why I
He
made him
immediately
prone.
fails. I'll
Very
just
nice.
make it red. Red succeeds, and blue immediately fails.
Alright. It's a 1 plus 8, so 9 points of fire for blue, and then 4 points of fire for red, and then I'm going to firebolt red. No, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it.
So 4 for him.
Come on, dice. Stop. rolling all over the place. Guess what I wrote? Natural one.
This is, I'm afraid.
We are cursed.
Okay.
Come on, guys.
Getting the bad rolls out now. Hopefully. Alright, next up is Blue. He will spend half his movement to get up from prone. And then he's going to attack Flynn twice.
That's great.
That's like 24 to hit on the bite. And the
Yeah.
claw is dirty 20.
Yep.
It's gonna hurt.
Yep.
44 plus 4. And oh, that's low roll there.
It's gonna be 30
46
for this
plus
next
4.
one.
So 32 points of damage.
Alright, I'm still
So
standing.
what are you
there.
down? You're still standing. Wow. Wow.
Uh,
Hey, next is Lucky.
Sorry, let me check. Okay. Just moving here, gonna primal savagery the blue one.
Mhm.
20, dirty 20.
It's
9 acid damage.
9 acid damage. Radio. He looks very close to death.
Gonna healing word Flynn with my bonus action for
Okay.
6 healing.
It's 6 healing. Temporary hit points for him.
L?
like that's only in my turn.
Oh yeah,
well,
that's
you-
when it's his turn.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sorry. So is that you go, Lucky?
Yep.
So is L.
Did she step away? Just be
I think she stepped away. Alright, I guess I'll just roll intelligence save for her.
Oh, sorry. No, I wasn't. I didn't know I was muted. I'm
Oh.
sorry. I was talking this whole time.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So roll me intelligence saving throw to stop
Okay.
hysterically laughing.
I said that Lucky gets 7 hit points back, but I don't know if she was hit from the 11 that she had.
No, I
previously.
wasn't.
All right.
So it's
So then
okay.
you're still fine. You're still fine. All right. I get like 4. I get 4.
Yeah, you're still incapacitated laughing.
Yeah, I'm really helping you out, guys.
Just having fun. That's fine.
I really just want to heal Flynn. I just want to heal Flynn, but I'll never get there.
Sorry. No,
It's okay.
I'm very much enjoying this.
Madness happens.
And this is my favorite.
Wait, did Lucky move in front of the flamethrower?
Oh, is that in front? Oops.
Yeah, I'm playing for her now.
I'm sorry, flamethrower?
Yeah, the turret's a flamethrower. Lucky, why?
I don't know.
I mean, it's
I like
works either
vaulted over it, and I don't know which side is the,
Yeah,
is
like
the
which way
exit.
is it? Which way is it pointing? Like,
It's
I
it's
don't-
cooking red and blue. The entire time it's been cooking red and blue.
So she jumped directly in front of it. I mean, but like,
this thing.
I was trying to draw
There you go.
some aggro from the red one, so it wouldn't keep going for L. So
I mean, but
It's alright, it's alright. I'll deal with it when it comes to my turn. I'll figure out
I mean,
something.
I'm just thinking like from role playing wise, if Lucky saw it shooting out flames, I don't think she'd jump directly into them, right?
you don't know how dumb I am.
I'm saying, or would she? I'm asking you, or would she?
Because I've been focusing here all along. I probably didn't see the flamethrower going. I don't know. If you allow
I mean,
me
you
to
would- you
retcon
would
it, I can
definitely-
probably move here, but
No, it's okay. I can move the flamethrower. It's not an issue.
I'm just saying we don't know that though. I mean, I guess we would. I don't know.
All of you would have seen it in action. It's a pretty amazing
Mhm.
display of like a huge gout of flame coming out of this small metal machine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's not an issue. The flamethrower has movement. I can move it. Just, I have ways to deal with it. Just keep going.
So L, the red is going to attack you twice.
alright.
Rolling on the ground laughing.
Yeah. First, well,
Why?
the bite misses.
Why?
Don't worry. Well, you're not on the ground. You're up straight. All right.
I mean, I said
Uh,
for role playing.
Oh,
but
fuck!
whatever.
Never playing. Jesus, I'm sorry.
But why would they attack the person that is like not a threat anymore?
Because you're an easy target.
Fair enough.
So sorry. 8d4 plus 4. I'm sorry.
I'm
No,
going to die.
Sorry. 26 points of damage.
Oh, okay. Afraid. I'm still hanging in there. Okay.
Are
Oh,
you down or no?
No, I'm not down yet.
Okay, good.
I'm surprised I haven't downed anyone yet. I'm honestly surprised.
I mean, yeah,
Uh,
because it's usually Adam and Alexis that go first, and they jump to back.
Yeah. So next up is Flynn.
I'm gonna try and hit with my freaking quarterstaff.
They rolled a hit.
Probably miss again. 14?
14 hits. Just
Oh.
hits.
I've been
Oof.
like steadily increasing it. 9 damage.
Damage.
And then unarmed strike for 23.
3 hits.
8 damage.
I think this is the worst
Damage.
we've ever rolled in any combat in this
So,
in this
what-
campaign.
So 9 plus 4.
9 plus. No.
Sorry, so it was 9 plus
9
which
plus
second
8.
attack damage is 9 plus 8?
9 plus 8. Yeah.
17 points of damage. Rightio, so this boy needs... Wait, can he make that save? Oh, he can't. He's dead.
Yay.
Nice.
Sweet.
Rightio. So, he's dead. Next up is Elixis.
Okay, wait. Ed? Which one's dead?
All of them are
Uh,
dead except Red.
I am going to attack Red and
Hey.
Exorcist to be honest.
Is her sky still there? It doesn't. It's not concentration. Her spiritual weapon.
I think this by accident. Shit, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Beyond loads so slowly.
DM, when the blue one died, did Elle get released from her thing?
It was the
Okay.
red one that did it.
Oh, it
It's
was the red one.
not the blue one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the blue one did it first. She succeeded after a round. Then the red one did it to her immediately afterwards.
Right, gotcha.
Okay, I attack Red with short sword and the AI crit.
Hey, Alex is the only one rolling well today.
Yes. So one. You jinxed it when you.
Oh god. Did I jinx it?
So 1 plus your modifiers plus 2d6.
Yes.
Plus 46, he crit.
Crit, oh, 46, damn.
Yeah, so roll another d6 for the short sword as well.
24, 27.
7 damage?
Yes.
Right,
I
well,
still-
you roll his, you roll his
I
thing because
still
he
get
can.
my off-
Huh?
I still get my offhand.
Okay, yeah, roll your offhand.
Dang, Lucis.
Get it, get it.
I mean, Alexis and Flynn are our DPS.
I thought that was a 1, it's a 7, 13.
He misses, unfortunately.
Oh.
yeah,
So this
just
will-
misses.
Yeah, it just misses. So this boy needs to make a save to see, because he can quite easily save, actually. Yeah, he's still up. 8 natural 18. So again, you see Alexis still with the kind of energy of just cutting down another one. Goes in for another quite deep, quick slices into this thing's torso, ripping it essentially apart, exposing the inner skeleton, and with one essentially slash, he sort of severs the spinal cord. And you see this thing actually shift, going to immediately fall, but the inner roots grab it, pull it back into place, and they're holding it together. It's on 1 hit point and just alive. So next up is
Come
Adam.
on, man, just let's go.
Right, this
If
fucking
I was-
guy.
Just let
This
go.
fucking guy. Like, bloody hell, like, how much does it take to kill someone?
Okay, there we go. I finally rolled. It 8, so if Alexis does not have more temporary hit points, you can take 8.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have 8, so
I think you rolled 1 last time for him.
yeah.
Uh,
Alright, my turn. I am going to I'm gonna move the turret. I can move it 15 feet. So I'm gonna move it right there across the corpse of the currently dead one. And then I'm gonna cook it. So roll a deck save.
roll dex.
I am going to cook.
What is the deck save?
Ding.
That just saves.
Mhm.
That will be
Roll
9
damage.
half to 4 points of fire.
Okay, well now he needs to roll his thing. Still up.
Still up? Alright, and then on my turn, let's see, what's the most damage I can do this thing to one hit? Let me see.
I'm sure you'll be
I didn't
going
expect
through
it to
that,
still
right?
be alive. I have my action, right? Yeah, I think this is... I think this is the most damage I can do to it. Longsword is finesse, right?
No.
No?
Short sword is
Nah.
finesse.
Short sword is finesse.
Mhm.
Damn it. Okay, fuck it. Then I'm gonna.
You do have a short sword in your bag of holding, but you'd have to like
Yeah,
basically spend
no,
your
no,
action
that's.
like pulling it
Actually
out, though.
done it,
Yeah.
No.
I got,
But I do have a
I got one
cross.
in my sheet.
You have one in your sheath?
Yeah.
Can I grab the short sword in his sheath, like on my way there?
I would say yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna move, grab the short sword, and then move like through, like going sliding underneath this guy, 25 feet over here, and while
Okay,
sliding
roll.
Go
under.
past L.
Okay, decide to move through his space.
Okay,
Roll me an athletics or acrobatics check.
I will roll acrobatics. I'm very dexterous. That is a nat 20 for a 24.
So you succeed. You just slide through his thief as he tries to sweep
Okay.
underneath his leg, try and
While
catch it.
while sliding with Alexis's short sword, I'm just gonna slice into it from the bottom.
Roll to hit.
All right.
Get him. Get him.
I'm making up for my nat 1 from earlier. That is a 23 to hit.
Hits.
Okay, and that's a d6, right?
6.
Okay, d6 plus 4. That's a 6, so 10 points of slashing damage.
Right, he's roll. He's still up.
Oh, this motherfucker!
Oh! What the hell?
Can I'm rolling like, everything. No, I've rolled like consistently low or consistently high. There's been no in between. Odd. All right,
Nice.
except lucky.
Alright. Just gonna primal savagery here.
It rolled hit.
Oh wait, Adam, if you need
15, so that hits, yeah.
How much do I get?
8 temp again.
8. Nice.
That's 3 acid damage.
Okay, let me roll. Still up.
You.
What the hell, this thing.
This motherfucker!
So
Whatever.
you just see from from Lucky, from Alexis, from Adam, just cutting and slashing, burning away at this thing's body. But every time, roots and vines from the ground keep this thing like a scaffolding, holding it barely in place. Okay, next up is L. Roll me intelligence saving throw.
Oh my gosh, come on. Come on, dice. Oh, shoot, I just threw that. Let me try that again. It's... Still, I got a 5.
So you're still laughing. All right. Okay. It is.
At this
going
point,
to-
you're laughing at us.
Okay, it's going to attack Lucky and Adam.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's going to attack
Come
both
for
of you.
these 11 temp hit points.
18 for Lucky,
Yeah.
and then for Adam, 320.
Hits. Just hits. Fuck.
Okay. Yeah. So, 46 for Lucky. 15 points of damage to Lucky.
How much, sorry?
1 full.
18.
1-4, okay.
And then for Adam is 44 plus 4.
Oh, I forgot. Can I get a con save from this guy?
Yep, con save. That succeeds.
Okay.
So 1-3 to me, right?
1-3 to you.
Okay, got it.
And that it's go over. Next up is Flynn.
Goodness.
I'm gonna move at it to get in range wherever,
Mhm.
and try and hit it.
Roll to hit.
14 on the quarterstaff, so barely
Yes.
hit again. And
Barely
then
hits
unarmed
again.
strike is a 14 as well.
Hits.
So roll
There you
that.
go.
Look, that combined damage.
10 on the quarterstaff and 5 on the whatever, so 15.
Finally, you do enough damage where it can't even roll. It's dead. So all of you see as Flynn again coming round, running essentially past everyone, using part of the wall of the cave to jump off it with his quarterstaff, slamming it in its head. The roots just barely in time catch the head as it's trying to rip down, but as he does so, Flynn grabs them and tears them down, ripping the head off and causing the body to hit down with a large slap. Finally, they're all dead. Combat is over.
gonna walk over and like try shaking L, like L,
Yeah.
L.
Elle's just in the background, like, it doesn't matter. You die, and you can be a tree person, and you're just still there, and then maybe you don't die again.
I'm gonna shake
Yeah.
her.
So, eventually you will succeed your saving throw.
I mean, let's not be
Yeah,
presumptuous.
Maybe never.
Maybe never. Maybe for all eternity you're just a heckling madwoman. But with both the stimulus from Adam and essentially combat being ended and the situation calming down, the madness subsides and you stop heckling.
L, Lightgate, Lightgate, can you hear me?
What? What?
You're right.
What is? She looks at like the now dead tree men, like fully like seeing them for the first time.
Yes, we have survived yet another grueling instance of death. Are
Did
you?
not go well.
That did not. I guess if we see these creatures, it is best not to try to treat with them, but to either flee or fight. Unfortunate. Elle, are you alright? Are you in need of assistance?
It was hilarious to fight them.
Elle is like 4 times over bloodied from just sitting there laughing and getting hit by a tree. She's not looking good.
I've exhausted
This
my
throws
magic
a
for the
wrench in
day.
our plans. We should probably rest up before we go out any further.
Probably. This cave seems easily defendable. Perhaps we should rest here for a night.
I suppose I should heal myself as she goes to do cure wounds now that she finally can.
Probably.
Do you not want a short rest?
I mean, I'm gonna do both regardless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
I've
I-
exhausted my magic. I don't think that we should perform any reconnaissance today. Not when we have exhausted so much of our resources. We should probably reel it in just a bit.
Well, I thought the enemy was going to be not trees. How foolish of me, I suppose.
Well, we can never be correct. Well, we do have a lot of dead plant matter now. I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I can scavenge some parts, guys.
Yeah. Okay, as your scavenging throw, just roll me either survival or nature, but also roll me a medical check.
Okay. For the nature, that's 14 plus 4, 18. For the medical, 13 plus 5. Also 18. Yeah. 18 for
So-
both.
So what exactly are you looking for? Are you looking for a piece of foliage to use for a fire, or are you looking for something specific?
Something that's kind of unique about this type. I would like to keep some specimens on, or something that maybe I think can be crafted into, like what I did before the bandages.
Okay, so with your nature check, you were kind of astonished about how quickly this plant could essentially, in an instance, recognize damage and then pull itself together using essentially quickly created vines to essentially hold the skeleton together. And you kind of get yourself thinking, I could utilize that. Maybe if we take damage, it mitigate it somewhat by maybe causing a piece of armor to go over a damaged area. You begin to essentially very carefully try to cut a piece of these vines while still trying to keep it alive. And you think maybe with a little bit of kind of maybe druid craft or something like that, if you have a piece of this essentially attached to you and you get hit, you can temporarily increase your AC by 2.
Ooh. So like a shield.
Essentially like a weaker shield, yes.
Okay.
One-time use shield as well.
How many of these specimens do I get?
Say you can get 1 for each of these creatures. So you have 4 of these, essentially, emergency defenses.
Do I get the sense that they're one-time use, or
Yeah, so essentially, you place this on your arm like an armband or something like that, or you put it on your neck or something like that. You would take a blow. The root would recognize the blow and would go over to it to try and block it. In that, it would destroy itself, essentially taking the blow for you. Essentially.
Okay,
the
I'm gonna
tactic
pick these up and then I'm gonna hand one to each of the rest.
Mhm.
And be like, put this on. You know that annoying thing that they were doing just now to hold themselves together? I think this will do something similar
Really?
if something hits you.
I would much like to analyze that property. Perhaps we can replicate it in the future somehow.
Elle
I don't know
won't
if you
touch
can.
it until somebody else does.
I mean, I
First.
hand it to you. I got it in my hand.
Yeah, but she's looking at the others. She doesn't know. You're a weird
Like, you can
nature
wear
person.
it like a
maybe
bracelet,
you're
necklace.
immune.
Flower
Adam-
crown, vine crown.
Adam will put one over like his bicep. Nothing happens.
Oh, you see the root essentially kind of constrict around your muscles, not to a point where it's like sore, but you feel like it's still alive and it's now attached to you.
It definitely
But you
seems
do feel it kind of
to.
you do actually feel it kind of attached to you, the wood of your bodies ever so slightly,
Mhm.
actually connected to you.
It does
Exactly.
seem
So,
to
like,
connect to me, but
does
does
that
not seem
hurt
to.
you to pull it off?
Well,
Adam?
one second. I'm gonna try and remove it. Can I remove it?
Attempt to remove it, it does seem to be stuck on you at this
Mhm.
point. And you feel like if you're going to try and rip it off, you will take some damage. Not terribly much,
It
but
appears to be currently, I wouldn't say permanent, but it appears to not want to be removed from my body.
Don't
Yes,
kill it.
but
I
that
tried
is
hard to take it out
also
alive.
Yeah,
from a
it is. It
tree,
is.
and you are also partially made of tree. I'm not really sure how that's
If you
gonna
don't want
affect
it, I'll
us.
take yours, Al.
Uh,
only
I'm
four.
just saying, perhaps Flynn, if you want to try it out.
I wanna
Alexis?
wear mine as a headband.
okay, so you
I wanna
wear-
poke it.
poke it. It moves ever so slightly.
I wanna poke it more
You
harder.
poke it, and eventually it sort of gets somewhat hostile and kind of like slaps your finger almost.
Oh,
Are you
It's
bullying
stop
my
poking.
vine? Alexis? Be nice
I
to it.
don't.
Lynn
It's
is wearing his as a headband. What is it doing?
So you see Flynn place it on his head. It sort of wraps round his head, and where the stump where you cut it off, it sort of attaches to the side of his head.
Mm-hmm.
What?
right. So
Okay, that's
it's just
creepy.
doing
Using-
that with everybody.
Using the wood and flesh together.
Right.
It's not painful. It kind of just like adheres to your head.
Well,
Mm.
based on,
How-
I'm going to
do you,
ritual identify.
Do you feel different? Ella's like leaning in towards Flynn.
No. I feel like I have a headband on. So, there's that.
DM, I'd like to
Huh.
ritual identify.
Yeah, I'm like 75% sure it's safe.
So identify.
Oh. Oh,
Rit-
he's
ritual
identifying.
identify.
Okay. You ritual identify, and it doesn't. It comes across as enchant. Well, not sorry. It comes across as slightly magical,
Mm-hmm.
but majority of it does seem to just be a natural phenomena.
Right.
It has essentially small tinges of necromancy and
Oh.
enchantment.
Well, for what it's worth, I don't see anything outrightly hostile towards us. While it is a bit concerning that it seems to be adhering itself to our bodies quite readily, at the present
Is it
moment I don't see a
still
threat.
alive?
Yes,
Like
for
as we
definitely.
saw from these trees, they kept
Yeah,
on.
it's still alive.
I get knocked down and I
It
get back
is-
up again.
It is definitely still alive, El.
Okay. Well, then she's gonna like lean down at the piece that Lucky. I mean, is Lucky still holding it out?
Mhm. Yeah.
She'll lean down to the piece and like try to speak to it in Sylvan because she's not really sure what else to do. She's just like,
Mhm.
hey, are you like a thing? Like, what's up?
You kind of see, like, it was kind of squirming ever so slightly in your hand, but the moment you begin to speak to it, it stops its squirming.
Well, it appears to be able to commune a little bit.
But I don't receive anything back.
Not
Other than
anything, it just stops squirming. It seems like it knows to speaking and
Mhm.
stop. But then if you essentially pause for a moment, it begins to slightly begin to move
Okay.
again in Lucky's hand.
Oh snap. Hey, okay. Well, she like says everybody. I guess it can hear me, and she'll lean down again and just say, if you like me, squirm a bunch, if you don't stay still.
It squirms, stops squirming, and then squirms again.
Damn it, I don't know Morse code.
I think
I
it's saying it
perhaps
doesn't like or dislike you.
I have a feeling that these things, as I look at the one that I have, I don't think they are entirely completely sapient, let alone maybe they're not even sentient, but I don't think they like or dislike anything else. Based on just the way that they've been acting, they might just form into a symbiotic relationship with whatever they attach to.
They're just creepy things made by creepy people to creep people out.
Okay, I like the whole like I'm gonna be close to my mic thing, but that was a bit too close. Like that was painful. That was way too close, buddy.
Oh well, she'll take it from Lucky's hands and hold it and say, I don't think they're creepy. I mean, they're like pets, right? But also they give you an advantage. They're like
They're
magical
cute
pets.
little pets that protect you.
Exactly. Sure. And she'll just like slap it onto her wrist.
Oh, I wish I had
I-
one.
So you slap it onto your wrist, and essentially it does adhere to your flesh, and it kind of wrap around it. In your inventories, add symbiotic shield.
Hey, I called it. It was symbiotic.
I see that in my Roll20 sidebar. There's a thing.
I point to Flynn's head and say, what if it decides
Symbiotic.
to contract, become smaller?
Well,
I'm
then
sure
it's
we
not my
can deal
problem
with it.
anymore. So
Okay, while
That's
you
fair.
were trying to remove these roots, you would have noticed something about the actual skeletal structure of these things themselves. For one, they seem to be a decent bit larger than an average humanoid skeleton, and the bones themselves, along with kind of the rough stature, seem to be far thicker
Mhm.
and slightly broader. And you notice kind of just around the mouth, small tusk protrusions coming out as well.
Oh.
Seems like these humanoids were orcs at one point in their life.
Looks like these wandered in the forest and got on the bad side of the growth mother.
Why does it not surprise me that orcs would be defilers?
I mean, we were almost
Wow.
defilers.
That's fair. But perhaps let's erase signs of battle so that if any prying eyes come, they do not feel the need to investigate my turret. And I'm gonna recall my turret back to me. Let's move these bodies in such a way as to obscure the entrance to the cave, or perhaps put some snow over it, and let's rest for the rest of the day and night in the cave. Perhaps we can continue for reconnaissance in the morning.
Could we rest for most of the night and spend some of the night doing reconnaissance? I recall hearing you say that you wanted to
Yes,
do it under
moving,
cover of night.
moving under cover of night, and actually moving at dawn would be the best time. A guard rotation tends to be at its least efficient at the wee mornings of dawn because the tension of night is passing and the solace of morning arrives. So perhaps moving in at dawn to do some reconnaissance would be the best option for us. In that case, let's take the rest of this day to rest, and perhaps we will turn in for the night a bit early so that we can wake up before sunrise to perform our reconnaissance.
So
Sounds good.
you're stacking these bodies in the front of the cave entrance and covering them in snow as sort of camouflage to the
Yeah.
entrance, and then you're resting inside
The cave, yeah.
the cave. Cool.
can I get
so-
any bones from them?
You can get some bones.
Okay, I want to try and feed bones to the horses.
Oh yeah.
You essentially you grab some of the bones from these things and like sort of like a banana, you peel off the wooden kind of peel,
Nice.
and then you sort of essentially just begin to feed these bones to to Daisy and Buttons, and
I'm
they
just
seem
seeing
quite-
this in cartoon animation now.
kind of sniff at the bones, then kind of with the like again with the inner mouth it peeks out, and then with a long tongue wraps round the bone, and then just pulls it into its mouth and begins chewing, crunching, cooing in the cave.
It's
It's
probably
the entire time.
it's probably a good idea to teach them to like the taste of orc and not us.
How good
I
at
mean,
hunting are these things?
I'd rather not find out. I think they'd sooner hunt us than other things.
I
Like,
assume
what would they
that-
eat in the
you would-
wild?
You would know Gov told you that they are quite self-sufficient when it comes to hunting.
Oh, that's right. He did say they can
Yeah.
hunt. Yeah.
They just need to
True.
like me, so I'll come back.
That's fair. That's fair. But let's,
Well, then
let's...
Elle's just gonna she's gonna take off her hat and unleash. Wait. She's gonna unleash 2 bats to see if they can get it as it flies
Okay,
around.
Minute.
For
Adam.
entertainment.
Yes, Alexis.
Swords.
Ah, yes, here you go. Thank you. I'm sorry I pulled it from your sheath. Did not mean to disarm you. I just really wanted that thing to die really quickly.
Yes.
So, El, you unleash
Mhm.
these 2 bats in the cave, and you see
Mhm.
both Buttons and Daisy's attention immediately begins following the bats, flying around, and once they get within 10 feet of the horse, you see its mouth extend upwards, and then the tongue as well, which seems to have almost a thorn at the end of it, pierces
Oh,
the
no.
bat's wing, pulling it into its mouth. Both of them do this roughly simultaneously, and then they begin to chew.
Adam claps.
10-foot
Sorry,
range?
Elle's clapping as well. She's just like, oh, that's awesome.
Yep, 10-foot range.
Hey,
I
Lucky
love
was
how
10
we're-
feet away from
yeah.
those things.
We're just like, that's awesome. And Lucky's like, nope, no.
Well,
I love the more that you examine these things, the more horrifying they get.
let's have a audible watch for this night. Don't head out of the cave, but whoever's keeping watch, just try to keep a ear out to see if anybody approaches our camp. How's that sound? No fires tonight. Keep warm inside the tent, inside the cart. I mean.
Alright.
The cart, remember, does have its own sort of iron stove, so you can
Yeah.
turn that on without. Because, as you mentioned, the cart doesn't have any windows.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially just a small box with a couple of ventilation holes.
Yeah.
So other than a small bit of light coming out from there, it's much safe to keep a fire on in there.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's rest for the rest of the day. Since we are resting anyway, I'm gonna take this time to continue my work. DM, can I get a 3rd day's work done on the cloak, the first cloak?
You've already done the work today because this is still the 2nd day.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't realize. Okay, yeah, sure. I thought it was like
so
a day.
you've done enough. You've done as much as you can on this day.
All right,
If you go any
Didn't
further,
he
you're
have-
risking exhaustion.
sure.
Didn't we have one? Oh no, he prepared everything then. Never mind.
Yeah. All right. In that case, then I'm just going to start sketching these creatures, and I'm going to map out the forest, the part of the forest that we've already been in. But other than that, not doing anything significant for the rest of the day. Just resting.
And while you guys rest, make a 10-15 minute break.
Okay. Sure.
Cool.
I'm
We're
gonna.
playing for about 2 hours, just to take a little break so everyone can use the loo, grab a drink or something. We're back.
Sure. All right. I'm gonna mute the stream. We'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yay.
Cool. Rightio. Well, that's us back from the break. Yes. So you guys have just finished quite a grueling combat encounter. So from some big bruisers. Rightio. So you guys have blocked the entrance to your cave with the now felon bodies of your enemies, covered them in snow for a bit of camouflage, and are now sitting through the afternoon into evening. Get yourself a long rest.
Okay. We don't need to roll for watch.
Not necessarily. I'm just gonna to keep. What the hell was that?
No.
Sorry.
What the fuck? Shoot it.
Essentially, with the amount of essentially obscuring that you've done, and with the fact that you've cleared out most stuff in the area, you guys can quite easily rest for 8 hours.
Alright, can I get 1 second to settle my prepared spells?
Cool. Elle would like to continue trying to talk to the thing that's now around her wrist. She'll peel back her glove that she has on and look at it. What is it? What does it look like?
It's now stationary, like a bracelet around your wrist.
But does it look like flesh, or does it look like wood, or metal? What is it?
Seems like the more that's attached to you, the more it's matching the color of your skin. Halfway up it is now resembling your skin tone essentially, while the rest of it still is the kind of dark brown that it was earlier.
Okay, just holding back the glove, she's like, in Sylvan, hey, are you still a thing? Can you wiggle anymore? Wiggle if you can wiggle.
Stay stationary.
Oh god, damn it!
Lucky, why aren't you wearing yours?
I don't have one.
I have one. It's only 4.
But
Oh,
Alexis
yeah, we
did
had to
not want
talk
his.
about that.
Alexis didn't want one, so there is one more. I'm gonna point it out. It's
Really?
still like.
I thought
yeah.
you took it.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
No,
take it.
on break we talked real quick, and he said Alexis would not accept it.
Okay, then oh, where should I put it? I'll put it on my tail.
Aw.
I'll help you. I'll help you put it on.
I can do it. I can reach my own
Then
tail.
you place
Can you?
this on your tail, it attaches, and it just wraps around your tail.
Tail band.
Do you do the cat thing where you run in circles a bit before you catch your tail and then you finally?
Maybe. No, I
But
can
yeah,
get it.
you heard Elle yell, "God damn it!" whatever that is in Sylvan. And she just is I wanted a cool pet, but it's not even responding anymore. And she's just showing it to you how it's becoming part of her skin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can just pet it. It doesn't have to move.
If it's not gonna purr or show joy or happiness, what's the point in petting it?
Well, perhaps we can deal with that later. We only have a few hours left before the sun rises. By my count, how many hours would you say we have, DM?
Until nightfall?
No, until so we took a long rest, right? And then now it's nighttime before the sun rises, correct?
Correct. You guys would have, through the day, because you essentially spent most of the day traveling, then spent a few hours working. By the time that you had that combat encounter, it was about 5:30.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
now, after the end of your long rest, it's now about 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning. So we would say have about 3 to 4 hours before sunrise.
Roughly speaking, yes.
We only have but a few hours before the sun rises, and preferably we would like to be done with our reconnaissance before it comes to that. Now, who among you have trouble seeing in the dark?
Well, nobody when I'm around.
That is fair. Excellent.
Yes.
So we'll have to bank on that. Lucky, have you prepared to prepare us for our stealthy
Yes,
insertion?
it will last 1 hour, so
Okay,
just
then
keep that in mind.
sure. Just hold off on that until I give the signal. Alexis and Flynn, be light on your feet. You are probably going to be our vanguard in this, and I will be somewhere between Elle and Lucky and the two of you, just in case anything goes down. I will.
Are we going as a group?
We are going to be going as a group, but then when we get closer to the encampment, what I have in mind is for Lucky and Flynn to separate from us and go at a stealthy pace where they will not be slowed down by the three of us, and then they will try to get as much information through sight as possible.
Did you mean
Perhaps
Alexis and Flynn or?
Yeah, Alexis and Flynn. Sorry, my bad.
Oh my god, you fucking racist to us, Suboxy, just because we're cats, you think we're just safe?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this campaign. Benny, you're
Adam
always
is
getting
like
the
a
cat.
grandma that just
Uh,
mixes up the names of all his grandkids.
The DM Luke is always getting L and Lucky confused for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
that's my bad.
I don't know.
Listen, they're all cats. They're all cats.
Luke
Anyway.
didn't even know what race my character was like last week. Like, we don't. What's going on?
Alright. But yes, the idea is to have Alexis and Flynn scout out ahead of us, and for the two of you to stay together further back. I am dexterous, but I'm not quite as stealthy as the two of them, so I would be somewhere in between the two groups. Alexis and Flynn, both of you preferably would move individually, so that if one of you is compromised, the other might not be. If you are compromised, then try to retreat and head back to us as quickly as you can. Do not overextend yourselves. Do not get yourselves into a situation where it is impossible for you to escape. If, let's say, you feel that your escape can only be successful if aided by the rest of us, feel free to cause a ruckus and we will come to your aid at once.
DM, could we see the bigger map of the area? Because I don't know where this
What's-
cave is in relation to that.
Yeah, I'll get you to that map right now. Roll 20, please work for me now. Don't crash. Roll 20.
You can do it. Roll 20. There we go.
Nice. Okay.
So, roughly speaking, you're about 15 miles away from the Death Head's camp.
Can
So-
somebody who knows how to calculate the circumference of a circle tell me what's the distance for this? I don't remember.
Oh, 15.
Do with pi.
Yeah, it's
You
2
don't
pi 15. It's 2 pi 15, so 6.28 times 15 will give you 60 plus about 90 plus miles.
94.2 miles.
Yeah.
Which traveling at what the hell is feet to miles?
Well, we're not going in a circle.
Are we not?
No.
So what's the plan?
We are heading to the camp, but we are going to be maintaining at minimum 1 mile separation before we split up. So when we are within a mile of the camp, that is when we're going to split up, and we're going to send Flynn and Alexis ahead of us.
Yes,
We're-
but we're going in a certain direction, right?
Yes, we're
I
heading
would
through the
think
forest.
You would want to take the cart a bit closer because you would spend essentially a whole day traveling, even just to get, not even to quietly get to the. You had to spend on foot
Mm-hmm.
a whole day, a whole 24 hours essentially to get to the Death Head's camp without the cart. If you use the cart and get, say, about maybe 5 to 8 miles closer and then hide it somewhere else, it will then be easier. You can probably do it in the same day.
Okay. Right. I didn't think of that, but well, 5 to 8 miles closer. And then based on that, will we still be able to... Because the thing is that the idea was we wanted to approach the camp when it's still before sunrise. So for that, how far will we need to go with the cart?
Well, to still get it with the sunrise, you probably want to primarily use the cart and get within maybe about 3 miles of the camp, and then hide the cart somewhere.
Okay. Alright, so rewind a bit. Alright, so we're going to be taking the cart out. We would probably get within 2 to 3 miles of the camp with the cart. From there, we're going to be moving on foot for a mile or more until we find a good place for us to split up. When we split up, Alexis and Flynn are going to be heading towards the camp, preferably through the trees. Try to find paths along branches. Try not to stay on the ground as much as you can. Try to get eyes on the camp from the trees, but do not get too close, do not be detected. If you are detected, retreat at once. Try to lead them in a obtuse direction, do not move directly towards the cart, and then once you have lost their trail, head back towards the cart. Elle and Lucky, you're going to be a bit further back, watching for any signs of combat or signs of help required. And I'm going to be somewhere between Elle and Lucky and Flynn and Alexis, just in case a message needs to be sent between
Right,
the 5 of us.
But we've tried this before, the whole sneaky thing, and it didn't really work out. It led to a huge combat instead. Is there anything we're gonna modify?
The modification is that this time I am not going with the two of them. I am significantly less dexterous than these two. Well, maybe not dexterous, but
I mean,
stealthy.
funny enough, it wasn't Adam that ticked him off. It was Alexis, the sneakiest boy we have.
No, it was
That's
Flynn. It was Flynn. Yeah,
Oh, it
Ram
was
laughed
Flynn.
for a bit.
yeah.
Can
That's
I-
right.
Another modification we are making is that Flynn and Alexis are splitting up. Yes, Lucky.
Oh no, out of game. Does concentration, if I cast a concentration spell before I wild shape, does it maintain or?
It does maintain. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
As long as you
I
maintain
could be
concentration,
the
obviously.
sneakiest one if I go in as a spider or a rat.
You might be crushed. Could you go as something that flies?
No, I'm a freaking
Ah.
level 4 druid.
We're
What do you
level
think I am?
4. Can you fly?
Can
you
a
have
rat
reliable talent?
burrow
No.
into the ground?
A spider in a tree would have a less chance of being crushed.
That is true. Then how about this? Because as a spider, I don't think you'll be able to move terribly fast, could you?
I can move 20 feet per round.
Okay. Yeah, that's not particularly fast. So how about this? Let's have you go on. Who's the faster one among Flynn and Alexis? Flynn, probably. So let's have you ride along on Flynn as a spider, and then when Flynn feels that he has reached the extent of his ability to move without being detected, he can let you down, and then you can proceed on your own for a bit more. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. And Alexis, are you alright being on your own?
Yeah, I like it that.
Do you want me to send a turret with you? It can be small and concealable. Do you want me to give you a turret just in case?
Do I have
Alright.
a range? How far it could be away from you?
Let me check.
Wait, how do you use that turret?
You don't
Yeah.
use it, it's my bonus action, but the thing is that if I give you like the turret that just gives you temp HP, then you just get extra temp HP for the whole time. Oh no, it can't be too far away from me. No.
Yeah, that's
that
what I was
wouldn't work.
thinking. It would have a range from you.
Yeah, it's I have to be within 60 feet of it to activate it, so no. I mean it can be further away, but I can't activate it, so it wouldn't be much of a point.
I was about to shoot it 5 times in the air.
Tell you what, Alexis, and I'm gonna cast Long Strider on you before you leave, so that way you get a bit more feet. That would help.
Wait, what? How much?
It would give you an extra 10 feet of movement, and it will last for quite a while. So I will do it just before we separate. Well, any additions, modifications to this plan any of you wish to make?
Yes, what information should we be looking out for?
The size of the camp itself. Try to get a gauge of how wide is it from left to right. Try to Flynn, if you can, since you'll be staying back a bit, sending Lucky forward. I would like you to take this, and I'm going to hand you a bit of paper and a pen. I would like you to draw a brief or a somewhat easy layout of the camp. Try to see
He
where.
said he's not good with maps.
I'm not an artist, but I'll try.
It's just based on where you are. Where are the large buildings? Where are the points of interest, and so on and so forth. One important thing: try to get a gauge of how many people there are in the camp, how many guards there are at the edges, how many guard patrols there are, how many entrances, exits, and so on and so forth. Basic information, not too much.
Okay.
If I use dash twice, does it increase my 30 feet to 120 or 90?
Well, if you use your action dash, it goes up to 60. And then if you use your bonus action dash, that goes up to 90.
And what if I use my feline agility? That does
Then you would
pretty
get
much the
for
same.
Right.
one
120.
round 120.
Jesus.
No,
Christ.
feline
We can't use
agility.
it simultaneously.
Feline agility isn't an extra 30 feet. Feline agility doubles your speed for all your movement. So
Yeah.
it would
Then
actually.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
What?
feline agility is a
Wow,
straight
right.
double. So
Yeah,
So you
I'm
get
like- I'm
180?
now like,
Yeah, so
wait,
you move to
that's how
180.
Bob did that?
How
Yeah.
fast is that?
yeah, and then wait, with the extra 10 feet that I'm giving you, Long Strider, right? So if you use bonus action, and movement, that would be 40
my
times 3 times 2. So it'd be 40 times 6. That'd be 240 feet within 6 seconds.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's 40 feet a
think-
second.
I mean, we calculated it like Benny did a long time ago for Cloud.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys
For
remember.
our cat Monk, but yeah, he literally like the skin would have been like burned off of his body.
Yeah, he would have
from how
moved fast
he moved.
enough to like effectively like have enough friction to burn the skin off of his body.
You know the part you said about
What?
King being the fastest?
Well,
Rude,
with
okay.
with long strider you would be faster. Without long strider, I think Flynn because you can only use feline agility one time unless you want to stop moving for a full round. So with long strider added, you would be as fast as, if not faster than Flynn. But without long strider, Flynn is much faster.
I'm still super fast.
You are still very fast, yes.
Alright, let's go. Stop arguing about this.
Alright, we're going very fast. Alright, where are you going very fast?
Okay. Well,
Why was this?
yes. So let's first and foremost, Flynn, we're going to be taking the cart quite a ways. We're going to try and stay away from any sounds. Remember, there are trees and orcs in this forest. Whenever, I think all of us need to keep a ear out, and if we hear any movement whatsoever, we're going to be navigating quite a distance around it, and we're going to try and find a place to set down the cart temporarily away from any of these claimed.
How climbable do the trees look?
Well, they're trees, so quite.
You have a climbing speed.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a
Wait,
climbing
bear
speed.
in
Mind that some of these can turn into angry trees.
Yeah, don't go near any of the trees that look like that. It's like-
I think they looked
Okay.
normal, right, DM? They didn't look like the
No,
lesser spawn.
the trees, essentially, like when they were standing still, they looked like normal trees. It was
Mhm.
impossible to distinguish them from normal.
Is it possible if I move fast enough, they won't be able to attack me or catch me? They will be just
Yeah, but then you have like a
"What?"
trail of tree people like running after you, which is
Well, if you
That's
move
worse.
fast enough, I have the idea that they might stop chasing after you if you just get out of their vision range.
That is smart.
They did not seem to be able to move very quickly. Remember, when they were approaching us, they were lumbering.
I tried to climb the tree.
I'm gonna give
Right
Eyes
now?
of Night, Eyes of
Yes.
Night to everybody before anybody goes too far
why?
away.
How
We're
long-
taking the cart. Why are you on the
Yeah,
tree?
I want to test it out. Last time I fell.
All right. Go ahead and try to climb this tree then. Get up to about a 20 feet height.
The
You
tree.
can
Okay.
you can easily climb the tree. Doesn't seem to be sentient.
Can I jump between trees without any problem?
Or me an acrobatics check.
Oh, okay.
Well, I
See,
mean,
now
that was
that's
a
a problem.
question. He didn't say he was gonna do it, but
You feel like you're quite dexterous. You could attempt to do it, but there's always a chance of failure.
Dirty 20.
So you feel like, at least for the moment, like doing some practice jumps. You feel you can do it.
I'll do another.
You don't have long strider yet, but I think with that it might help quite a bit.
Okay. So, I'm not sure if I should travel on trees or land.
I would say, if possible, travel on land because it's safer. But whenever you are stopping for a bit, immediately scurry up one of the trees to get a better vantage point. Also, I'm also willing to bet that the much larger trees have a much lower chance of being claimed, because the ones that attacked us didn't seem to be quite so large. In fact, they had to grow themselves to be larger. So if you find a large old tree, it might be safer to climb on that than a smaller tree.
Old trees are creepy. They're like dead.
Well, regardless, we should not waste what twilight we have. Let's proceed.
Yes.
here, everybody, don't die. And she's gonna cast Aid, but I have to decide. It's only 3 people.
Definitely the 3 that are going forward.
I mean, Elle's selfish though. That would logically make sense. That's what I would do. Yeah, she'll give it to you guys. So you have a +5 to your maximum hit points.
So You begin to make your way closer towards this camp. Yes.
Yes, on the cart.
Cart. Eventually, you reach the destination where you feel like any further with the cart will be detrimental, and you begin to walk on foot in through the forest.
Wait, so before that, I will cast Pass Without Trace and turn into a spider and crawl onto Flint.
And
Okay.
I'm going to long strider Alexis.
Okay. So,
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Sorry.
One more. Yeah, sorry. We're all these buffs. I will give vigilant blessing to. I'll give it to Flynn. So Flynn will have advantage on initiative if you have to roll.
Also, before we actually leave, I would like to ritual cast alarm around our cart area. I'm going to ritual cast alarm in a 60-foot radius around the cart.
that doesn't require concentration, does it?
No, it's not concentration, and I get detected if, as long as I stay within 1 mile of the cart, I will know if anything enters.
Cool. So, applying the various buffs and benefits to the intrepid ones that are making their way towards this camp, you begin to make your way through the forest under the cover of night with the moon as it begins to make way for the early morning sun. Ducking and diving through trees, making sure not to be heard and not to be seen. And can both of you roll me stealth checks?
Who?
Flynn and Alexis.
Oh, okay.
Flynn and Alexis.
Just
I'm
give
going to
me a
say
20.
Ooh, not 20 for 26.
Plus
Ooh.
10 for
Plus
the...
10, so 30 and 30.
Ooh! I was so close to rolling a 20. 19.
Being quiet as the wind, and not even disturbing the foliage that's on the ground, jumping from tree to tree, from shadow to shadow, both of you make your way to what seems to be the edge of this forest, which makes way to what seems to be a small clearing in the actual woods itself. And you can see now what seemed to be a slight rising, a small, camp. Small camps, I think. It's quite a large camp, which seem to be on a small rising of hills and cliffs. Not cliffs, small rising, high surface, essentially. It seems like most of the trees around the area have been cut down. Stumps and other such things have been made way, and you can even detect what seemed to be mild scorching around the area that you're just about to enter. So as you kind of sneak your way through, still under the cover of night, closer towards this camp, I will take you to the map.
Yeah.
So,
You do bear in mind, Eyes of Night lasts for 10 minutes, so after that, you're not as able to
Those
see.
teeth? What are those?
Whoa, what the...
so essentially, what those are essentially is the sharpened remains of trees to act sort of as a palisade on the top of these slightly raised walls, essentially cliffs.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
So you can see, at least from your cursory glance, without having to roll any perception checks, on each of the major entrances to this camp, there seem to be posted 2 guards. And you can gonna just hear and move. You can both hear and see movement. What seems to be a large pit over here, and you can see what seems to be a troll of this restlessly turning and moving in its sleep. Other than that, there seem to be many tents and different kinds of yurts in this camp itself, and you would reckon that there is probably an orc or goblin or hobgoblin sleeping in one of those at the very least. And then, of course, there is the larger tent, which you probably denote is housed to Grimgore and his retinue. What are
So
you guys
we can
doing?
tell all that from the perimeter?
Just from the perimeter, that's what you can detect.
Would you guys put your tokens, like, just for me, so I know where you're, like, moving
I don't know
about?
where I am.
I think there'll be
I'm curious where you
Probably
are.
off the map.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, like preferably far off the map.
Yeah, I don't know how far y'all can see.
So
Oh,
Elle and I
it's
can't see
nighttime,
this,
so-
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
we have infinite vision? Is this like
Yeah, but we're not in
below
trees.
or above us?
We're not in the trees, and Elle and I would be a
Yeah.
bit far away.
Yeah.
You guys don't see this.
Okay.
Lucky as a spider kind of taps Flynn on the side of his face, and she like raises two of her arms in like a shrug. Like, what do I do now?
In a
Run
shrug.
back.
Spider shrug.
If you remember, the instructions was when Flynn gets to the point where he feels like he
Yeah,
cannot
but-
proceed, Lucky
Well,
proceeds.
hold on. This is not a gaming, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she,
So-
with one leg, she kind of points to the big tent, and then kind of looks at Flynn.
I give a thumbs up.
Okay, I'll go try and peek inside.
Okay,
While
I'm-
she does that, I'm going to quickly try and sketch it.
Oh.
Okay, so first, I'm not even gonna have you roll a stealth check because you're a spider and you have blessings. Like past that trace, no one would even notice you. You're a tiny spider. You creep underneath what seems to be this tent because getting into it. And the first thing you begin to smell is very ripe meat, verging on possibly even rotting, just sitting on what seems to be a large table in the middle of this yurt. It seems to be almost quite lavish actually, with pillows, different kinds of drapes, kind of just in this thing, along with what seem to be many different kinds of small braziers, kind of just standing up on their own with small blue lights, kind of just surrounding this inner side of the tent. And you can hear quite audibly the large snoring, an incredibly large orc that seemed to be sleeping next to a orc woman. Seems to be slightly older in persuasion, which seems to have like feathers kind of mixed through her hair, and her eyes seem to be grayed over. Then sleeping in what seemed to be a slightly privated section of the tent seems to be this orc female with what seemed to be an armor stand with quite actually well-made plate armor sat there upon it.
So 3 orcs total in this.
Orcs
Tent.
total in this tent, yes.
Okay, I'll take note of that. In what direction would Flynn be? Actually, maybe
That's up to
I
him
should
to decide.
just
Can
Can I like from this tent kind of just go like that, peeking into each tent, and everything that looks interesting like in a little circle, and then come out the way I came?
So essentially going from tent to tent, being unseen and just being a tiny little spider, you can determine there was, let me just count, 18 orcs and 1 troll. Sorry, a mixture of goblins, hobgoblins, and orcs in that 18, and then 1 troll.
Is that include the 18? Is it including the 3 I saw in the big tent?
Including
Or
the 3, yes.
no? Okay.
Considering you're a spider, will you be able to poison their food?
I don't think so.
What type of spider did you turn into is the question.
No, I mean I have poison damage, but I don't know if I can poison food.
We'll be able to poison food for a long enough extent where it would be effective.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
spit in it a little bit.
Yeah. But you're a tiny
Fire.
spider. Yeah, maybe if you were a giant spider, you could maybe inject some poison into like a loaf of bread, but you're a tiny wee spider. You can't necessarily do too much.
Yeah, and I don't think Lucky would think to do that either way. She's just here
Yeah,
to look.
makes sense.
Do I get any sense of their supplies or?
It seems like in each tent, the orc or goblins seem to have their own reserve of food. Either cured or dried meats, some hard breads, things like that, and then what seem to be just distilled water or just cleaned water in their own jug. It seems like each orc here has quite a self-sufficient pantry.
Okay. 18 is not a lot. I thought we were like hundreds.
Well, to be fair, you do know their main attack was over 100 enemies, and it was only a small contingent that actually managed to escape.
Okay. Yeah, I'll head back, try to find Flynn, or if he's still in the same place.
Yeah, I wouldn't have moved.
So just going round the camp, roll me a sleight of hand check. If you can essentially draw this map to an reasonable extent.
Alright. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, yeah, you do a
Yay.
pretty basic sketch, but it's quite detailed in its sense that you draw essentially an accurate perimeter along with tents, and then once Lucky makes her way back to you, I assume.
Yeah, can I
she'll
use
go
my
in-
little spider leg to try to point to him how to draw from what I saw?
Yeah, so
You certainly can try.
roll me an insight check. If you can understand the spider and indicate how many orcs are in each
Spider
tent.
gesticulations.
Yeah.
Frantically gesturing with multiple legs. Just...
12.
Well, you don't understand what she's trying to tell you. She's pointing up. She's pointing legs at you.
I give another thumbs up.
Throws up spider legs in frustration.
Crosses all 8 of them, like across his legs to your chest, like mad.
What is Alexis doing?
What's legs doing?
I want to look around the camp if I can see any obvious weaknesses. Just from
can I
far
give you-
away, I don't want.
Giving the camp a cursory perspective from the outside, it seems like there are only 3 major entrances, and the rest of them aren't necessarily. Sorry, and there are no other entrances. The only other ways to get into it would be essentially climbing up anywhere from 10 to 20 feet, and then having to get past sharpened, essentially.
Mhm.
Trees that they have carved on the outer side of the wall. It's making quite an effective palisade, actually.
Oh, so those aren't bones.
They're not bones.
He
but,
said,
they're
yeah, it
trees.
was trees.
Gotcha.
I don't know if I should go closer and find more info or just run away.
Go up to where?
I'm gonna maintain my distance and very, very carefully circle around the camp, just looking for everything I can see that could be of use to us.
So, outside of what Lucky's already seen, you don't necessarily find anything else of rather importance. It seems like there are 7 guards currently on watch, 2 at each entrance, and then there seems to be 1 watchtower pier. Other than that, it seems like all the other residents at the camp are sleeping in their own tents, and there seems to be a troll in a pit, essentially tossing and turning in his sleep.
The 18 was inclusive of the guards, right? Sorry? You're...
Yeah, you're cutting it. You're cutting out. I assumed it's
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
there you
thanks.
Sometimes Brooke, you cut out at the very beginning of when you start talking.
Yeah, I thought it was somebody trying to whisper to them. I was like freaking out. I was like, is somebody going like, psst, psst.
Okay, I guess that's all we got.
Anything else you guys want to do, or are you going to make your way back towards the
I got nothing.
caravan, more like it actually?
Yeah, I don't have anything, I don't think.
Radio.
Maybe let's report back to Adam and see. I mean, I can't say this, but
You
I'm a spider.
sign language,
Use sign language.
Sign language.
Yeah, more
I like
spider
that
pointing.
stuff,
I don't know how to communicate this. It's okay.
On the way back, I want to look for any patrols or like listen out for anybody.
Seems like
Mhm.
outside of the camp, they don't actually have any patrols outside of the guards that are standing watch at each entrance.
That is something that Elle's been worried about as well, as far as other patrols around. Could I, from my different vantage point, try to look around, whether it's like perception or like survival for tracks?
Ditto
Can I
for
try
Adam
to
as well.
Yeah.
see?
Same thing for
Yeah.
Adam.
Roll me a survival at advantage then if Adam's helping you.
Okay. I mean, did you want to roll on your own, Adam, or do you
Well,
want to?
I'm not with L. I'm between L and the camp, and I'm up in a tree.
Oh, we're in different
Okay.
places.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in which case, both roll me survival checks then.
Okay.
Okay. Not good. That's a 10.
Mine's
total.
14 total.
both of you don't notice anything that would indicate guard patrols. You do see some footprints from what you assume to be some form of wildlife, maybe a mutant. Nothing that would like
Oh,
immediately indicate an ogre or a troll or an orc or a goblin or a hobgoblin.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
I'm gonna wait in my tree because they probably separated from me here, so I'm just gonna wait for the two groups to come back to me, and then we'll head back to L.
Okay.
Just
So
keeping her eye out. That's all she's doing. Just keeping a watch on everything.
so eventually, Flynn, Spider Lucky. Why do I get you two wrong mixed up? Spider, Lucky, and Alexis will make their way back to Adam, and then from Adam make their way back to L.
Well,
Hopefully.
let's head back to our cart and get. I haven't had any ping from the cart, right? From my alarm. Okay. Yeah, let's head back to the cart. I'm going to undo my alarm and let's move further away before we continue our discussion. This is a bit too close to the enemy for my taste.
And L scoop the spider off of Flynn's shoulder as we walk.
Nice.
Sure, I'll let you. Give me a
Oh, wow.
spider wave.
Yeah, as we're walking, she's just like, did you get what we need?
Spider wave with one leg. I don't know.
I mean, that's a yes or no question. She's looking for a nod or a shake of the
Can
head.
spiders
but you can
nod?
do what...
I don't know.
Really? No, they cannot.
I mean, you can like use your legs and do a push up, or you can like sway side to side, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I'll do a push up.
Does the spider
Um,
form have like one little eye in the middle?
So I think spiders have a bunch of eyes.
No, I mean like
It
your
has-
sunken king eye.
Oh god, that
It has
would
the
be
it has the normal spider eyes, and then there is the one larger eye in the center of its
Oh.
head. And it's not a spider eye; it's a human-looking eye.
Ugh.
Nice.
Oh gosh,
Nice. I'm into
it's
it.
crazy. Oh, that would
Okay,
impair
well,
my disguise though. You see like
Yeah.
a goat with one eye in the middle.
Well-
To be fair, in the world, they might just
Um,
assume it's a mutant goat.
True. Huh.
Yeah. Elle just says, Lucky, now is not the time to work out. Like, come on.
Let's head back to the cart. Alexis, you're with us.
Yeah, we're back to the car.
Is Alexis also with us? He is, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's head back to the cart. We get back to the cart. I'm gonna reclaim my wire that I use for alarm.
You can do so.
Right. Well,
Oh, you're gonna all of you back now with the cart.
yeah, Flynn. Let's move out of the forest due east. Let's keep a minimum 10-mile distance from the camp. And yes. So what did you guys see?
I am no longer a spider.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Wow,
show you my
Elle
map.
jumps back.
I like in your arms, just
Yeah.
holding me.
Yeah.
Princess Carrie Lucky.
She totally could. She could carry like 5 Luckies. Sure. Sorry.
Yes.
What did you say?
What did you see?
Yeah.
I'll show you the map.
Okay. How good is
So-
the map, by the way?
It's pretty good. Essentially, it's an uncolored version of the one that I showed you. So essentially, uncolored version of what I've showed you, minus some like obvious details like the ramps and like distinct tents. But there's like little shapes to indicate tents and watchtowers and things like that.
Okay, could
Oh,
I
that's
kind of
awesome.
add
Map of
in?
it.
Yeah.
Can I kind of add in the missing details I saw, plus put like little X's for people that I saw sleeping
Yeah.
in the tent?
So with Lucky's essentially advanced scouting, the
Mhm.
map essentially is an uncolored version of what you see in front of you right now.
Okay. Excellent. It's a lot less troops than I expected to see.
I mean, again, all of you would know that the only orcs and goblins that managed to escape was a small contingent of the original force.
Yes, it seems their leaders are still there. I saw all 3 of them in the big tent, but I highly doubt they're going to be launching another attack anytime soon.
Which means that if the Null was to launch a counterattack, now would be the best time, wouldn't it?
Perhaps. I don't think they indicated any
Well-
interest in doing so, though.
No, perhaps they did
Hold
not.
on there, Adam.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that.
Getting ahead of your goat there.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's what should be done. I'm just saying that this is a moment of weakness for these death hits, as they are called, and if there were any time to deal with them, it would be now. However, I wouldn't say I'm confident about just 5 of our chances at attacking 3 generals. And
We do have the message pigeon, though. If
yes, we do.
wanted to
I am planning on
send
sending all
it
this
back
information.
to them, not saying that we would be involved, but just giving them the information of that this is here. We definitely could.
Well, for now, Flynn, get us to the edge of the forest. Don't peek out of the forest yet. Let's stay in the forest, but let's stay 10 miles away from the camp.
Are we going to scout the other camp?
No, not yet. The other camp is a bit further away, and I was thinking we can scout that camp when we are continuing on our journey past this camp. Right now, the 5 of us need to come to a collective decision on what to do in this situation here. So, are we in
I
a...
feel that we are 100% successful and that we've attained all the knowledge that we need, and we should continue moving on.
Yes,
is there
but
anything else that we need here?
The question actually is not that. The question that I have is, are we in agreement that this existence, this Death Hit camp, is a threat to Sanctuary?
Oh. Huh.
Are we in agreement?
I
No?
mean, it never has been before.
Well, I mean, if we remember, we have an objective to secure a future for our people, and that may involve getting a sunstone, returning to our cave, and staying there until that sunstone dies, or we find new land for our people to settle into, and preferably close to Sanctuary itself, so that those who wish to stay can stay and still maintain contact with the rest of our people. Now,
Exactly.
the problem with that is that this entity exists, and at some point they have managed to rally themselves to a force of hundreds and attack a close by city, in this case Dano. If we leave them to their devices, I worry that might be a possibility again at some point in the future. Would you be in agreement?
Well, the problem is that if you get rid of them, this place will be unclaimed territory, and naturally, I feel like some population is going to move in here unless we fill it. So getting rid of them now may not solve our problem in the future either.
That is actually something I wanted to ask you. There are a few options to that as well. If we clear the orcs, you said that these palisades were made of trees.
Yes, they seem to have been taken from the
I
surrounding area.
I highly doubt the Grove Mother would be pleased with that.
I don't feel like you have a good grasp on the intentions of the Grove Mother, and neither do I. I don't know if she cares about normal trees.
You're right.
Or...
Well,
she did turn a few of them into those
things.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that at some point or another, at least this is my assumption, but at some point or another, the Death Heads are going to become a much bigger threat to Sanctuary than they are now. And they have proven their ability to do that by attacking Dano. And
how did they get so many, though?
I don't know, and that is what worries me.
them?
That is what worries me. I do not know how their numbers propagate.
There might be another
with you.
population somewhere that we
I
don't
agree
know
that
about.
it's an issue, and yes, we only do know of 2 camps. I'm sure they could have 1 million as far as we know, but...
Well, the other camp is not affiliated with them.
Either way, they're threats.
Yes.
But what could we personally do about it?
Well,
is the question.
Well, here's the thing, right? Dano has a motivation to strike back against the Death Hits, and whether or not they plan to do initially, perhaps in the lack of information, they might have been playing a bit more defensive. If we give them the information of the Death Hits camp now, how small it is, how few people are manning it, and the fact that I did not see any patrols, did you? I saw no sign of any patrol.
No, nothing.
What of the 3 of you? Did you
No.
see any signs of patrols?
No.
This camp is effectively undefended. This is if there were ever a time to strike at the Death Hits, I think it's now.
Just the 5 of us?
No, not the five
I
of us. Not the five of us.
agree with you. I'm not disagreeing, but it's just like how, who.
I'm saying we send a message pigeon to Denor, and we let them know that we will stay in the area for perhaps a couple days. That should be more than enough time if Denor was to send a contingent out to fight the Deathheads. So we can stay for 1 day, maybe 2 in this forest. We have an easily defensible position here. And if, let's say, Denor wishes not to fight, I'm assuming they will send a pigeon our way and let us know that they do not intend to take the fight, at which point we will continue on our mission. But if Denor wishes to fight, then perhaps we stay and we ensure the success of that endeavor. That's my idea.
I totally agree with you. I think this is 100% worth the stop to deal with this threat.
Well, I'm sure there is a chance of us gaining a benefit from this, but you have to remember that every day we wait, Sanctuary Sunstone gets weaker.
Yes.
Time is running out and we don't know when be the breaking point.
And that is exactly the reason why I do not wish to open the doors of Sanctuary while a threat is, well, literally on our doorstep. I mean, and I'm going to point upwards the mountain.
Can you imagine, say, even if it did die out and all of our loved ones and our friends were forced to run outside, they would run directly into these enemies, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and I'm going to point to the mountain. Our home is right there, and I'm going to point to the camp. And the enemy is right there. I don't feel comfortable with that.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Orcs are bad, they kill people, let's kill them. We will see what happens in the future.
No, I don't think we disagree with you. It's just how we go about that, Alexis. How do we do this so that we don't die is the whole thing.
And that is where I think Denor comes in. That is where I think, and I'm going to have a copy of the map that Flynn wrote. I'm going to draw a copy of it, and I'm going to have a letter to the father, including all the information that there's no patrol, stuff like that. And then the last part I haven't filled out. So in this letter, I've penned all the details, just the information with no suggestion of a battle plan or any sort. But what I intend to write, if all 4 of you are in agreement with me, is that we will stay here for 2 days, or 3 if necessary, and we will wait for either a contingent of fighters from Denor or a messenger pigeon telling us that they cannot fight at this moment. If, let's say...
Absolutely. I think we should be willing to wait a couple more days, actually. Because, first of all, you never know how long it might take for the travel or for their word
I'm assuming
to reach
that...
us. But also, if we wait longer and they don't arrive, that might tell us that something happened to them on the way.
Maybe. Perhaps
Quick
4 days
question.
then. Yes.
How do we know that the 2 camps aren't affiliated?
It was the goblin that told us. He told us that the...
Do we know if he's being honest? Or his
He had...
information might have been outdated. Once they return from their defeat, they might have banded together.
I did not consider
Because they're
that possibility, but that possibility actually leads to more motivation that we should deal with this camp now.
Yes, I'm also suggesting that we scout out the other camp before sending this information back to Denor. We might learn something that's relevant.
That would involve backtracking on our journey. It would involve heading further south and then north, and that's a few more days of travel.
What? No.
Yeah, it would. It's the other camp is a ways south of quite far south of where we are.
Aren't we going south anyway to go to the crater?
Yeah, but then if we have to come back to deal with the death hits, then we need to head north again after checking out that camp. DM, if you can move us to the world map.
Yeah, currently, so essentially, I've already pre-measured this. The Bad Moon's camp is about 22 miles away.
That's 1 day's
Okay.
travel. And if we're waiting a few days for Denor to
A
come
day's
anyway,
travel.
we might as well, right?
Oh.
Otherwise, we'd be just sitting around.
Right, I didn't factor that into the equation. Yes, actually, that would be a good idea. We send a pigeon to Denor now. We let them know of all this, and we let them know that we are going to go scout out the Bad Moons, and then return to our position of safety here, and await either a bird from Denor or a contingent of fighters.
I'm not sure they can send a bird to a location that it's never been before.
Well, no, that's why I'm saying that 2 days later we will be back here where we are, and I will put a mark on the map. And perhaps if they send the same messenger bird, it might be able to trace its way back to us. I'm not entirely sure how these messengers work.
Yes, my only worry is that if we find something in the Bad Moon's camp that suggests that launching an attack is a bad idea, we wouldn't be able to communicate that to Denor.
That
Well,
is fair.
I highly doubt Dano. If we do send this message to Dano, I highly doubt Dano would move on the attack if we are not there, because we would say that we wait for them and then let's attack together. So if Dano comes here
mean,
and they don't see us, then they might take it to mean that we encountered trouble at Bad Moon's.
or they might just be cautious, as they should be. That is a fair point that Lucky's saying. We only have one shot to communicate. So basically the question is, do we want to take more personal risk upon ourselves to investigate another camp ourselves? Or do we want to put the risk on the support that might come and possibly send them into the terrible situation?
Well, here's the way I see it. I am split either way on whether or not we investigate Bad Moons. I am fairly confident that attacking Death Heads is the right thing to do and that we should do it given this opportunity. As for heading over to Bad Moons from here and investigating them and heading back, I think that that is something that we can discuss over today, right? I think that's something that is a possibility, but I'm not sold that we should do it. I still have no reason to disbelieve the goblin because he was in a position where he was compromised and he was willing to tell us the truth. And he did tell us that he had enmity with the Bad Moons. They are not of the same faction. So based on that information, I think that scouting them out has benefits, but also would leave us traveling for a day or more because we don't know what we're going to be heading into.
I think we should also consider what will happen if we manage to get rid of the Death Heads. Would Bad Moons move up and fill the empty position
Well,
and expand
if
the
if
direction?
Dano is amenable, I would like to ask if they would be willing to defend this position.
And like Lucky brought up, we definitely would not want to bring any more, or any, period, attention to Sanctuary. We wouldn't want to make, I don't know, a big deal of this area. I don't want, like, a feudal war here.
True. Well, I don't... What... You know what, Lucky, you're right. We don't have enough information on Bad Moons. If, let's say, they were a large enough force, the removal of the Death Hits might lead them to take over this void. But if but the thing is that, from what the Goblin said, the Bad Moons was significantly smaller than the Death Hits, right, Liam?
I think I
it says,
saw it personally as well. It was smaller.
originally the Death Heads had a larger force in comparison to the Bad Moons, but that was in comparison to before the onslaught.
Right, and when Lucky saw the Bad Moons, how big was the camp?
The camp, it was less. It was about roughly the same size as the one you saw there, but it was less wooden and more essentially like hide yurts and tents and things like that. Think sort of Native American / a Mongolian kind of culture. It seemed like they were far less warlike. It seemed like they were simply just hunters and things of the such.
Well, based on our current information, the Bad Moons do not seem as large or as aggressive as the Death Heads. I would much rather deal with that kind of a situation than with having a remnant of the Death Heads. And not to mention, their generals are still alive in there.
It's true.
I
Right.
misheard you. But yes.
But,
In that case, I would be amenable to Adam's proposition to send the messenger bird now, but I would insist on scouting out the Bad Moon's camp after we've done that. In
What
the few
of-
days we have while waiting for the Denor.
what if you were to ask the king how many Bad Moons exist?
Oh. Hell looks directly at.
I wonder if
Lucky's
I could
forehead.
ask about a hypothetical? Maybe how likely would Bad Moons be to...
Oh, I think that involves that is
Sound like it would be facts or
Yeah,
straight information. That sounds
exactly.
like that's going through a lot of hoops. Again,
think-
we obviously have no idea how.
We could do a small
This
experiment about
works.
that before we do the real thing.
Exactly.
Well, I was also thinking like instead of asking how likely they are, we can arrive at an inference ourselves by if we know the number of bad moons that exist, then we can make an educated guess as to whether or not they feel like they might have the numbers to take this area, right?
Yes, but we could ask a question such as, has Bad Moon's camp launched an offensive attack in the last 10 years? Yes or no
That's
question.
a long time.
The last year.
Last year. Offensive attack in what sense? Attack for territory? Attack for...
I mean, anything.
Offensive attack against another civilized entity, how about that? Because an attack against an animal might be construed as an offensive attack.
Well, I didn't think that far. But yes, we can...
Ask this guy.
No, not yet.
Well, I think the first order should be to ask the numbers of the bad moons, because I think that is
Right.
information that would definitely help us make a decision.
Okay, so I should ask how many residents reside in the Bad Moon's camp?
No, how about how many beings?
Warriors.
How many beings?
Beings can be anything.
Okay.
Number of ants?
How many warriors in allegiance with the bad? Sorry, how many elite?
But
How many?
can ants be warriors though?
No. We'll say-
Humanoid.
Okay, how many humanoid warriors have? Or how many humanoid warriors lie in allegiance of the Bad Moon's organization?
Allegiance. They might be allied with other camps in different areas. so-
Goodness gracious, Elle just like grabs her hat, grabs her head. It's always just round and round with us. We just.
All right, how many warriors are there in the Bad Moon's organization?
Is it an organization?
I'm assuming it is. Yes.
Can I just say camp?
No, because then that's the physical camp. They might have warriors outside of the camp.
Plan?
How many Bad Moon's
Why?
warriors exist?
How many Bad Moon's warriors exist? I like that.
Okay, I'll ask that to the eye.
Gosh.
You ask that to the guy. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Right.
If you want to think like.
I'm
different
using luck on that. It
universes.
wasn't that one.
Okay, please be lucky.
I'm using. Wait. Should I got an 11. Should I use another luck?
It's up to you.
Uh,
I would say it's
Do you
like
have
we've
to stick
we've
with the next one, or is it like you choose?
no, you
I
get
have
to
2
choose.
more luck that I can use.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
she
you get
gets
to choose. Okay.
I would say
Okay.
yeah, I would say just do
Okay.
it.
Roll again. That was 12. Okay, 17. That's fine,
Okay.
right?
17
Yeah,
sounds
it's
like it'll be fine.
So how many Bad Moon warriors there are?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
There would be.
no, sorry,
warriors.
keep going.
Okay.
Humanoid specifically, I guess.
Well, we
not
didn't say
humanoid,
humanoid.
Not
warriors.
warrior ants.
Not warrior ants.
There's a big difference between certain kinds of fighters, between warriors and say magicians, things like that. So
Oh no.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, like we
Sorry,
we meant
already
we meant it in the
Yeah.
sense
Yeah,
of like
fair.
combat, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
But
fine.
aren't they
So-
offensive mages though?
warriors.
Does
Okay.
the eye discern intent or like the actual meaning
I
of the word?
assume it.
Depends
I
what you
assumed it
ask.
was. I assumed
Okay.
the intent, but god damn it.
It's fine. It's fine. We're learning. We're learning.
It would have been
God
different if you
damn it.
said how many individuals are part of the Bad Moon's clan or something like that, in which like you just more specific number.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
So warriors, and you would know that there are, roughly speaking. I guess it wouldn't be roughly speaking. You'd know exact. Okay, 30 warriors. About 35.
That's already too many. Oh,
35.
Okay, how much
That's
does the eye
5
open?
warriors. The eye opens at a 2/5.
A fifth? Oh, that's good.
I mean,
2/5. 2/5.
2/5. Oh, that's not bad.
And how many are
very
there?
specific.
35, which is
That's
a lot.
not actually a lot compared to how many the Death Heads had. I do not think with 35 warriors one would try to take this land.
The Death Hits had 18
Well, I mean,
and a troll.
yes, but do the Bad Moons know that the Death Heads are now only down to 18?
They only have to do reconnaissance like us to find out this information.
That is true.
What are we doing now? Are we gonna try to
Well,
ascertain more
first,
information, or
well,
Add that number, the 35 Bad Moon warriors, to the letter that you're sending.
yes, that is what I'm doing. And we know that after consulting the eye, we are also sure that the other Bad Moon's camp has 35 warriors, which are relatively far south of here. And I still think that. What do you guys think? I still think that attacking the Death Heads camp is still in our best interest.
what do you mean by us?
Well, I mean, not just the 5 of us, obviously.
But like who? Do you
Sanctuary.
just all of Denor? Oh, you want Sanctuary to fight?
No. I'm saying Sanctuary's best interest and attacking the Death Heads camp with whatever contingent the father wishes to send here.
Oh no, I'm just saying, who do you physically want to fight? Like, who are we gonna list? Denor is what I'm
Yeah. That's what I said.
guessing. Yeah.
Whatever contingent
more
the father
thing.
wishes to send.
If you enlist Denor to defend this area, if we successfully topple the Death Hit camp, wouldn't this make it impossible for Sanctuary to move down and reside here?
No, I was hoping to make a deal with the father that if
We
the-
haven't really told him about any of this.
I know. But we have some goodwill with him, I'd like to think. And if he is willing, let him know that we would like at some point that we have a people and they do require land to live. And if he is willing to help us temporarily defend this area, that we might clear out some of the other threats that are in and around this area, so that Sanctuary may come down, although I'm not entirely sure how long this area would need to be defended. And that is something that I'm open to ideas. Either that, or because the thing is that the largest threat in this land is the Death Heads, and regardless of what we decide, I think that we are in agreement that we're going to ask Danor to help us deal with the Death Heads. Even with the Bad Moons only having 35 warriors, I still see that, as I point to the camp, as a bigger threat because of those 3 generals and that troll.
Totally agree with you, Adam. I don't see any way around this because, like I said, if the stone runs out for Sanctuary, they're all gonna have to run outside. If they run directly into this enemy camp,
That's not a
there's
good
nothing
day.
we're gonna be able to do.
Also, I did notice the father have a bit of, unhappiness in his eye when I told him that the general got away. I think, like me, he resents that the leader was not felled in that attack.
Right. I mean, this is just a bit of a far shot, but how long will the father be the father? We have goodwill with him, but not necessarily with the next leader.
Exactly, right? And while I would like to know the next leader, I think while we have the opportunity to treat with the father as he is now, we should.
Well, I've said my points. I'm not good at military strategy in any sense, so I will defer the final decision to the rest of you.
It's the same with me. I'm not well versed in this, per se, but it sure seems like Adam knows something. She kind of looks at you a little pointedly.
Well, it's a lot of guesswork, really, but sometimes it's not always logic for me. Sometimes I simply look at a situation and I have a feeling in I don't have a gut, but you get the point that this is the right thing that we need to be doing. Flynn and Alexis, what do you think?
Not to try and convince me to take out a camp.
That's fair. And Alexis?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna finish up the letter. So the letter is gonna
Yeah.
say that
Call on the reinforces.
yeah, so the letter is going to say that we are going to be here at this exact location from which I'm sending the letter, which is 10 miles away from the Death Heads camp at the edge of the forest 3 days from now. we will give all the information and say that this is a prime time to attack the Deathhead scam and take them out once and for all, but that we do not feel confident doing it ourselves. Let us going to ask for either help in the form of a contingent to meet us here 3 days from now, or a messenger bird telling us that they cannot commit to it, at which case we will then proceed on our journey. It will also contain a full layout of the Deathhead's camp, their numbers, their supplies, the generals, and the troll in the pit. And then we will also give them information that the Bad Moon's camp is nearby with only 35, and we do not, and at least Adam will write that part in first person, saying that I do not feel that that is a large risk to this operation. And we'll roll it up into a parchment, tie it to the messenger bird, and send it off.
Send off this bird, and as it takes off in the early mornings of the day, your proposed plan and countermeasures ensue. That's where we're going to end it. A session.
Okay.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm sorry for all
awesome.
the pedantic squabbling.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
I
D&D.
Just promotes that.
I'm gonna end the session in a bit. Last words, DM?
Remember, kids, don't mess with trees.
Don't mess with trees.
Mess with trees.
Alright, goodbye everybody.
It's true. Bye.
I